Hey, Pardon My Take listeners, you can find every episode on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Prime members can listen ad-free on Amazon Music. On today's Pardon My Take, we have a twofer for the people. We have Dick Vermeil, all-time football guy. Great football discussion with Coach Dick Vermeil, Super Bowl champion Dick Vermeil, future Hall of Famer Dick Vermeil. He's seen and been around more football than any of us could ever dream of. Great interview with him. And then we have Mike Florio, our good friend Mike Florio, to talk about the Tom Brady 600th touchdown ball and Deshaun Watson possibly getting traded very, 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 very soon. We also have Monday Night Football, little college football talk, little World Series, Hot Seat Cool Throne, and Guys on Chicks. And we're brought to you by our friends at BetterHelp. The best way to think about therapy is through a bunch of analogies like, hey, look, you get your car tuned up to prevent bigger issues down the road. You get annual checkups and go to the gym to maintain physical wellness and prevent injury and disease. You do chores regularly to avoid a giant mess at home. So why not do the same with therapy? Going to therapy is like all the above. It's routine maintenance for your mental and emotional wellness to prevent bigger issues down the road. Therapy doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means you're investing in yourself to keep your mind healthy. And Barstool Sports agrees. They're offering BetterHelp services to all of our employees as an added benefit to help take care of our overall well-being. So BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Why invest in everything else and not your mind? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/PMT. That's BetterHelp.com/PMT, BetterHelp.com/PMT. Go check them out now, BetterHelp.com/PMT. Okay, let's go.
It's Pardon My Take, presented by Barstool Sports.
Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by BetterHelp.com/PMT. Today is Wednesday, October 27th, and I want to do a mental flush, boys. I want to do a mental flush, boys and girls, of Week 7. Get it out of our system. Boy, did that stink. Monday Night Football. I'm actually happy that Monday Night Football was as bad as it was, because I didn't want them to be like, oh, Week 7 wasn't that bad. You had the Dolphins and Falcons in this great Monday Night Football game. No, it sucked. We're moving on. That's the way it was. Geno Smith versus Jameis Winston, and Geno Smith with almost the greatest Josh Rosen stat line of all time, where if he hadn't thrown the 84-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf, he would have been 11 for 21 for like 60 yards.
Yeah, I think Marshawn Lynch put it best when he just said, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's how I felt watching the entire game. And at the beginning, when they had that 84-yard touchdown pass to DK, I was like, maybe the weather does affect the defense more than it affects the offense. Maybe we'll get some points. Turns out that was foolish for me to ever have believed that.
Correct.
So it was a boring-ass game filled with shitty stuff that sucked. And on top of everything, Eli Manning had to apologize Peyton had to apologize for Marshawn Lynch cussing on the broadcast.
Yes.
That was the best part of the night.
Yeah.
If you invite Marshawn Lynch onto a broadcast, you're lucky if you get away with him just dropping shit 3 times and fuck once.
He was 3 hennies deep.
He's 3 hennies deep, and that's what you get. When you invite Pat McAfee on, do you expect that he's going to wear sleeves?
Nope.
Nope, not at all. When you invite Rob Gronkowski on, are you like, hopefully Rob won't tell any whimsical stories? Nope. You don't say that.
Nope.
This is what you get when you invite Beast Mode on the show. In fact, I would just like to watch Beast Mode be disappointed at shitty games for the rest of the season. Just watch him be like, what the fuck are they doing out there?
Yeah. You mentioned weather, which has been a big topic on this show recently. We're a weather-first podcast. I did notice in the pregame, Our good friend Will Brinson, who is not really my good friend anymore because he keeps getting me to bet on NC State, and they suck as a program. He noted that both Jameis and Geno told Lisa Salters before the game they like the challenge of throwing in the rain and won't wear gloves tonight. And Geno Smith even said he prefers a wet ball. Jameis Winston's 0 for 5 lifetime, 6 touchdowns, 12 interceptions in rain games. Geno 0 for 1, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
They still like throwing.
They like the confidence.
They stink at it, but
the confidence was incredible for both of these guys, and they both. Well, Jameis was okay. Geno was
But you don't have to be good at something to really enjoy it.
Yeah,
in fact,
that's true.
Most people who golf or fuck are terrible at both, and they still really enjoy the recreation.
The Geno Smith, that was actually it was illuminating for me because it was similar to like basically what everyone does when they watch the Bears or the Wisconsin Badgers play offense, where it's like, oh, they don't want the quarterback to do any type of throwing. Like there was that one drive where they ran it 8 times in a row.
Yeah. And
then even in the last drive, I think that might have been the worst final drive of all time. They went backwards. He almost got sacked for the point spread.
It was so bad. I bet that there would be a safety in that game, and I almost got it on the last play after it was like 4th and 28. Hank inspired me because he was taking a lot of safety bets on Sunday. So I took this one, and I was like, surely they're not going to keep taking sacks on this drive. And they did.
Yeah, I wish they had given Geno 10 downs because I would have seen he would have been out of the stadium. They would have sacked him out of the stadium.
We would have erased Dan Orlovsky's name from the record books based on how deep Geno Smith would have gotten on that last play.
Like, you got to throw the ball.
And the Saints really weren't doing that much more passing.
Well, Alvin Kamara was incredible. He was basically the only guy on the field. You're like, that guy plays football.
The trap play that they called for him on like 3rd and I forget what it was, like 3rd and 10, something like that. On that last drive where they ended up kicking the field goal, they called a running play, and he ended up getting like 12 yards or 2 yards past the first down marker. It showed you that Sean Payton really didn't want to try passing the ball much either.
Kevin White was electric.
He was.
Kevin White he is
terrible. He dropped our beautiful boy Jameis's deep ball. That was on a fucking dime.
He's got 2 things that are working against him. Otherwise, he's an elite receiver. Catching the football and staying on the field. Take those out, he's one of the best receivers of all time.
He's the Ben Simmons of wide receivers.
Those are important, I'll admit. A hand up, I'll say, like, you know what? Catching the football if you're a wide receiver, important. But he does. The reason why Jameis was throwing it to him is because the guy can get open.
Yeah. Jameis has added a couple new moves to his repertoire. I don't know if you've noticed this about our beautiful, what would you call Jameis? We have a lot invested in Jameis's success, but he's added a couple new moves. One is where he drops back in the pocket, has a very clean pocket, and then he just points downfield when he's about to throw it. He looks like he's doing the Saturday Night Fever dance, the John Travolta. Mm-hmm. He just points, and you know that something's about to go either very, very right or extremely wrong after that moment, and then he just guns it. That's always right before he throws like a nice downfield pass. And then his running motion has gotten more erratic. Yes. In the last year. I think it might be a result of the training. All of his muscles are firing too efficiently, maybe.
He's almost like the bones, no bones dog. Sometimes he's running and he has no bones.
I was saying that he's like when you see a NASCAR driver get engulfed by the invisible flames when they're sprinting around.
Ricky Bobby,
That's kind of what the ethanol fire is kind of Jameis's body movement when he goes. But he did have maybe the play of the night when he dropped the snap, picked it up again, then threw
with his tiny little hand.
It was tiny little hand, threw Kamara open. It was adorable.
Yep. It was a bad game. It was a bad game. Pete Carroll was chomping on gum. But I really am happy because week 7 was not fun, but it is still football. We got to remind ourselves it's still football. Week 7 was one of the worst weeks, start to finish. Because, remember, we kind of forget that the Browns and the Broncos played that game that was not fun either on Thursday
ugly.
night.
It was an entire week of Browns-Broncos. I felt like I watched that game 20 times just with different colors this weekend.
The Falcons and the Dolphins played the best game.
Yep.
So that tells you everything. It was, someone put it, I think they were calling it Bye-Mageddon, which makes sense because all the good teams were on bye. Next week or this week, week 8, we have some actually. Here's the thing about week 8. At bare minimum, we have the Cowboys and the Vikings playing Sunday Night Football. That's going to be some fuck shit.
It will be some fuck shit, and also week 8 is not the halfway part.
Correct.
We have an extra week this year.
Yes.
The season is still young.
Yes, it is. All right. Should we talk a little World Series? So this is probably the only show we will do where we're not going to recap a World Series game because we'll be here late on Sunday. And then if there's a game 6, we'll be here late. So why don't we just do predictions so that way people can laugh at us and be perverted and be like, you guys are really stupid and you don't know anything about baseball. Shout out that one Astros fan. Let me read that. Let me do a quick Wednesday reading.
Yeah, I like that one.
This was an Astros fan. So at stake,
It's just a guy that has like a million replies.
Yeah, let's just put it out there, though. At stake is the Astros and their fan base being able to basically tell everyone that it wasn't cheating that got them the World Series. They're just a really good team. They win 2 World Series if they win this World Series.
Here's what's going to happen is Astros fans will very quickly become New England Patriots fans. And they're not rooting for the same team, but it's the same mentality, right? Like once you prove that it wasn't the accusations. I'm just saying this is what's going to happen. It's going to prove to them that fuck all the haters. It's us against the world.
They
We're still
actually
a really good
cheated.
team.
Yeah, but
We'll get to that.
Yeah, but they are able to. What I'm saying though is if they win this one, they win 2 because everyone's kind of put an asterisk around the first one. If they win this one, they can say, well, we were the best team on the first one as well.
They still lost to the Nationals.
So this was the
2021
MLB champs at 2021 MLB champs. He said, y'all might want to sit out the World Series. Y'all are a football podcast. Y'all don't have a clue what y'all are talking about when it comes to the current game of baseball. Astros fixing to dominate the Braves and prove we're just an actual good team. So that's what they're fighting against. And then
we just got yelled to death.
We got y'all to death.
Because the guy, when he's writing this, he's like, these guys are based out of New York City.
Yeah,
he's
City
like,
Slickers.
He's like, I'm gonna drop 4 y'alls on them.
What was that old commercial? New York City.
Paste thick and chunky salsa.
Yeah.
From San Antonio. From folks who know what salsa should taste like.
On the other side, we have the Braves, a tortured city, sports city, trying to beat all curses and everything alike. I am very much rooting for the Braves. Braves fans are mad because I said Braves in 6, and they're like, you jinxed it? Well, guess what? I mean, like I said, you guys are already jinxed to begin with, so what else can I do? There's nothing. I'm not adding any more jinxes to an already jinxed city. I am rooting for the Braves, though I hope they win it all.
Yeah, I don't know what the city of Atlanta can do to get rid of the jinx. It's been in place since 1996, since they got the Olympic Games. They sold their soul for that one. Nothing's gone right after that. I don't know, just take your name out of the hat for the next Olympic consideration. Just be like, hey, we're done with the Olympics. But I'm also rooting for the Braves. I think Braves in 7.
Okay.
I think it's going to go the distance. I'm mostly just rooting for Big T because it's fun to see him giggle with delight.
Yeah. I had this thought, and this is I'm doing this for Atlanta. Nothing can be worse than the thought I had this morning. Saturday would be game 4. A Braves getting swept in the World Series, and then Georgia getting upset by Florida in Jacksonville. So there you go. That could be that. That's rock bottom. We build up from there.
You know what I
had that thought pop in my head. I was like, oh, that's ugly.
You got a bargain. If you're an Atlanta sports fan, you have to enter a bargain right now and say, tell us, which one are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up the Georgia undefeated season? Or are you willing to give up the Atlanta Braves World Series? Because I don't think that there's any chance in hell that they can get both, right?
Maybe.
It can't happen with the planet aligning. You have to prioritize in this circumstance. I think they'd probably say the Braves winning. I think that's where most Atlanta...
Yeah, I don't know. College football fans are crazy. Any other predictions? Anyone got their... Let's all go on the record here. Hank.
Braves in 7.
Okay. Jake.
Braves in 5.
Oh, no. Billy.
No Acuna, too, which is crazy.
Yeah, face of baseball.
Yeah.
He's not playing?
He hasn't been
Been
playing
injured
for
all year.
months.
Houston in 7.
Wow. That's Hank's sabermetrics.
I actually
His
agree.
Analytics
Now I
department.
agree with World Series 2021 champions.
Yeah.
Hank, y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Hank doesn't care when he gets the information as long as he gets the information
Yep.
in time. Okay.
I don't like it, but Astros in 6.
Oh, okay.
Are you trying to win that or lose it?
I don't want it to happen, but I think it's going to happen.
So are you
I'm trying
to lose it?
to win it.
He's trying to win it, but he's with much reluctance. He doesn't
Exactly.
want to win it.
No, but you should try to lose that. You'd rather it lose.
Exactly.
So you're trying to lose it.
No, but because when Billy chooses a game that he's trying to lose, he actually just lies and said, hey, I like the over on this game, but in reality, he really likes the under.
Got it.
And this one, he really does think that the Astros are going to win the World Series, but he regrets feeling
You
that way.
regret just
He's
being
ashamed.
right.
He's
I don't want
ashamed
that.
of
Ashamed to
feeling
be
that.
right.
Cheaters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't be ashamed.
Okay.
Be yourself,
I
Bill.
hope the Braves can do it. I'm sure also the fucking Astros. Fuck the Astros, man. They're not likable.
I mean, Altuve is kind of
Dusty
likable.
Baker a little bit.
Yeah,
Dusty,
Dusty-
and he's
Dusty Ba-
old.
I just
know
like
it's
Altuve
enough
because
time
he's
has
short,
passed
Hank.
with
That's
the
it.
with Dusty on the Cubs, and he's
Were
old.
you rooting for Dusty to not be successful after he
No,
left
for
the
a
Cubs?
little bit it was a
'Cause
little like, hey, dude, like you kind of whatever.
I didn't think that he did anything like.
Wow,
He kind of pitched Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
sent them out to pasture a
Say
little
so.
bit. Yeah,
yeah, but he's a nice guy. He's a baseball lifer.
yes.
He's one of those guys.
He's a baseball man.
I'm rooting for him.
I'm
I
rooting
want
for
him to do
Dusty
well.
Baker a little bit, but yeah, you got to pull for the Bravos here.
Yeah,
Also taking the under
of the series.
this game tonight.
Oh, got
Okay.
it.
It's cloudy, chance of rain in
Under
Houston.
8.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So okay.
Has there ever
So you're
been
trolling?
When was the last time there was scoregami in the World Series? Is there baseball scoregamis?
Probably not. There's too many games.
There's
I don't
got to
know.
be score.
It would be
There's
so
gotta be.
Probably
rare.
like 25-2 or something.
It would be fun.
No,
the
that's
Rangers.
happened. That happened.
The Rangers and the Orioles had 30-3 once.
Yeah, that's
Can
right.
you try to find the most
could forget?
likely scoregami
Okay.
in baseball?
We also have This Is Wild storyline in the World Series.
Oh yeah, I
Brian
saw this,
Snicker,
yeah.
manager of the Braves, and the Astros, his son, is the hitting coach.
That's
that's
wild.
wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Buddy Boeheim quote tweeted
Wow.
wild from the video yesterday, by the way.
So who are they rooting for? Who's the wife rooting for? Yeah, the mom.
House divided shirt, right?
Damn.
yeah,
I
Tough.
think you root for your son.
Over your husband?
I don't
I think
know.
you do.
I think
Till death
moms
do
root.
us part.
I think
moms root for kids
Yeah,
over.
They're rooting for a
spouses.
7-game series.
I think
Yeah, if
I
you
think
polled 100 moms,
Yeah.
I think they'd all root for their kids first.
I think most dads
happened in
would
your
root
household,
for the
Big Cat?
moms,
I did- my
but
kids
most
would get rooted
dads
for.
most dads root for the moms. Most wives root for the sons. If that were the case,
dads root for.
if it were like if the mom was a hitting coach and then the
Got
son
it.
was also a
Got
different
it.
coach,
The mother's a doctor.
then yeah, the mother's doctor. Yeah, that's wow.
My
sexism
household,
is
I
showing.
would be. Yeah, I wouldn't get rooted for. No one would be rooting for me.
the
No
lowest.
chance. That's. I mean, I understand it. You root for kids. Come on.
I don't need. Yeah, I
I want
don't.
your kids. to
Would
do
you
well.
be rooting for your kid?
You want a woman rooting for you? Pause.
You want yeah. Your kids are like your kids getting all their dreams come true.
So it's a win-win, basically.
Yeah,
think-
it is.
I think
But
a
I
more-
think if you had to like poll, I think parents will always root for their kids.
I think
first.
a more fair
Like,
question
gun to your
is
heart,
like,
you're
is
like-
the dad rooting for his son?
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's say he's a baseball lifer.
Oh no, the dad's not rooting for his
That's
son.
what I'm asking.
No. He's
Not even a little bit?
No.
You wouldn't even be rooting a little bit? Like,
No, I think that's more of a when all is said and done, then you can be like, "Hey, that's cool that you got it." But
I'm proud of you, but-
no. Fuck that.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
I would like try to food poison my son.
I found
So he couldn't- they
scoregami.
couldn't-
Yeah,
hit.
let's hear it.
Up to 2017, this website. The most realistic is 18-14.
Okay, so that's,
That's
what
what
we're
we're
rooting
rooting
for.
23-0, 23-1.
18-14.
18-14 is realistic.
18-14.
That's what I got my mind on.
That would be fun. That would
Yeah.
be a lot of fun. I
Yep.
can't believe that's never happened. Wow,
Yeah,
that's fun.
crazy.
That's wild and crazy.
Yeah.
All right, little college football. Clemson is officially. Is the dynasty over?
Clemson is dead.
Is the dynasty? Is Dabo? Is
I
the
think
dynasty done?
I think Dabo was a system coach. He can't do it without an elite quarter. He can't do it without Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence. That's what it looks like to me.
DJ Ukulele is not the guy, although he could be the guy. I'm not going to give up on him. I'm a big like. I mean, it's very similar to the Kevin White discussion. I'm a big 5-star. If you're a 5-star, you're a 5-star for life.
Also, he played really well when he was a backup. When he got into
Notre
the game.
Dame, yeah.
yeah. So
he had a good offensive line and good receivers. that game.
and also his dad just kicks ass. I'm very intimidated by him.
He's the best.
So yeah, I'm still rooting for DJ, but I don't know. Clemson dynasty over.
Dynasty
I'd say
over.
Put a stake in the heart.
I also would love to have someone, maybe a graphic designer, make me a poster of the 9 overtimes that we saw in Happy Valley, because that was one of the worst games / hilarious games. That deserved to be a bowl game like that we watched.
Cheez-It.
Yeah, Cheez-It Bowl or the Red Box Bowl. But 9 overtimes, the 2-point conversion fest where they have to walk back and forth down the other side of the field, including Sikowski, the Illinois quarterback, getting hurt halfway through, breaking his arm, And listen, it sucks that you break your arm. They attended to him on the field, so there was a 10-minute delay. He couldn't walk. He didn't walk off the field. Mm-hmm. It was a absolute train wreck. But yeah, the play-by-play where it's just 2-point conversion attempt, fail, 2-point conversion attempt, fail, 2-point conversion attempt, fail, over and over. Oh, beautiful Big Ten football.
Bielema just wanted to get out of there and get some dinner at that point. How hungry would you be on the sideline?
So hungry.
You don't account for that. Even the hungriest man doesn't eat enough hot dogs at halftime to last through all those overtimes. I don't like this overtime thing. I don't like it.
It's stupid.
It's dumb.
And here's the best part too. The Sitkowski,
the underhit.
The underhit easily. Sitkowski, he went 8. He's the winning quarterback. He went 8 for 9, 38 yards and 1 interception.
Gross.
Winning quarterback. And then what's his name? Brandon Peters, I want to say, came in, and because it's 2-point conversion attempts, he won the game for Illinois, but his stats don't show up.
Yeah, because it doesn't count on the final thing. Yeah.
So he never exists. He ghost rode the win.
Yeah, so you could have gotten, if you're running back hypothetically and you had scored a bunch of 2-point conversions in overtime, that could possibly add up to, 16 more yards on your total for the day. And nope, doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
How should we have the conversation? Is James Franklin distracted by all the money that he's about to get paid?
Well,
because he hired a new agent, and in my experience, you don't really hire a new agent if you're happy with how much money you're making.
Funny you asked that, PFT, because he actually came out today and he said future with Penn State, not a distraction to the team.
Okay, good. So not a distraction. Okay.
Well, case dismissed.
I feel dumb for even asking.
You hear what he said?
No, I'm wrong.
He said he's focused on Illinois.
Oh.
Okay.
But that's not who they're playing this week.
Well, he should probably refocus. They're playing Ohio State.
He said we're just focused on Illinois.
Yeah, so he's
Ohio State.
playing
watching
Ohio
film.
State next weekend.
He's just watching a lot of film.
No, he said we're on to Illinois.
Well, he might think the overtimes are still going on.
Exactly.
So
I don't know if you guys heard this, though. He said he's not distracted.
Yeah, he said he's not distracted. So you know that a college coach, their word is their bond.
I believe
they'd never lie about anything.
I believe James Franklin.
Me too.
Just Penn State coaches.
I think it was key.
Believe all college coaches.
Yeah.
We should start the movement. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's actually sad how little trust we have in these
Jimbo
guys.
Fisher, he's happy and never leaving Texas A&M. Believe all coaches.
Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss for life.
He's Ole Miss for life. I do have a quick update on our new color schemes. I do feel like we are just heading directly into, this season's awesome, this season's chaos, and it's going to be Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Ohio State somehow. And Cincinnati's going to get left out.
I felt like Cincinnati.
They had to beat Navy by more than 7.
Yeah, I actually thought that Navy could have won.
Yeah, they had the ball down 7.
And just because, if you're playing against one of the Service Academy teams, that's a game that can go sideways real fast.
Yeah.
If you haven't been able to prepare right for it, because they don't play football.
Yeah.
They play Army football or they play Navy football, which is a different brand entirely.
The committee doesn't respect the troops.
Who?
The committee or whoever picks that.
Well, I just think that Cincinnati's in that mode where they're actually like a throwback BCS style team trying to score style points to get into the playoff. They have to win, and they have to win convincingly, because otherwise they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt, and they're just going to put in Oklahoma, who keeps beating bad teams by a few points, and everyone's like, well, it's Oklahoma.
I'll just say it right now, I want Michigan to get in there. I would love to see Harbaugh.
Michigan versus Michigan State on Saturday.
I would love to see Harbaugh in a playoff.
You get a 10-year
Shut
contract.
all the haters up.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, this is Ohio State just has 2 different seasons. They either have one season where they'll lose to a Big Ten, an inferior Big Ten team, and everyone will be like, oh shit, what's wrong with Ohio State? Or if they lose early enough, everyone doubts them, and then they just kick the shit out of everyone else. Mm-hmm. Like the year they lost to Virginia Tech, I think they won the national championship. They just you can count, we had a discussion. What was the discussion? 4 losses?
4 losses, yeah.
Ohio State is just crushing people now.
Hank, are you feeling like maybe there's a chance?
No.
I saw some stat. It was 20 out of the last.
We needed Indiana to fucking have a pulse.
Yeah, it was something like 20 out of the last 22 possessions Ohio State scored. It's crazy. They're buzzsawing people. They're going to kill Penn State, and they're going to keep rolling, and they're going to kill Michigan State, and they're going to kill Michigan.
They might lose to Penn State.
Oh.
Because James Franklin is so focused.
I mean, every game for me in this bet is a must-lose for Ohio State. So I
Must
What do you
lose.
have to get if they don't?
Yeah, I forget. Like, I wasn't going
think it
to
was like
watch
$1.
football. No, I wasn't going to watch football. Remember,
For a month.
if they had 4+ losses
Yeah.
for the entire month. Yours was something along the lines of,
Getting
$10.
a cat.
yeah, I think it was the cat one.
It was getting a cat, right? Do you remember, Billy? Getting a cat.
I think there's something worse.
Yeah,
Oh,
worse than a cat. Getting 2
lion.
cats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, getting 2 house cats. One named Brickles and the other named
Pickles.
Brickles
and
and
pickles.
I think I said I also wouldn't watch
one has
Sunday
diabetes.
football and come in.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait, your punishment was you take a
Yeah,
vacation?
he wouldn't work
No,
on
it was your. I mean,
Sundays.
it wasn't my punishment. You said it to me.
All right, we need to. Somebody please fact check us on this one because we forget what Hank's into the bargain was.
Yes, and also someone make me a poster of the 2-point conversion off in Happy Valley because it was fantastic. All right, anything else from college football before we move on to Hot Seat Cool Throne? This is last week was just bad all around for football. This week we're back on track.
I mean, Oklahoma, they were fixing to lose that game.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they keep beating teams by not a big margin, but because they're Oklahoma, everyone will be like, yeah, they're really, really good.
The debate I'm addicted to having already is Caleb Williams a Heisman candidate? Even though he's played, 3 games now?
Yeah,
2.5 games?
3 games. 2.5. Yes.
2.5 games right
Texas
now.
maybe counts as a real full game.
The thing is, yeah, that half had enough.
Yes.
That had enough football for a full game. The play that he had was a Heisman signature
yes,
moment.
it was, but it was against Kansas.
But it still was. I mean, it was against Kansas and also an entirely filled stadium of season ticket
Tough
holders,
place to play.
passionate fans.
Yes.
But I like having the debate of is this guy that just started playing? Could he be? Hypothetically, if one guy started in the SEC championship game that hadn't played all year and threw for 9 touchdowns, could that guy be a
Why
Heisman
not?
candidate?
Why not?
That's a great Heisman
Throw
moment.
him in at least get him an invite to New York.
Get him in the Heisman house.
Yes.
Have him bunk with Tebow.
Also, I think Wisconsin's going to win the Big Ten West, and people are going to be real mad because they're not good. But
Is that still actually a possibility?
oh yeah, if they win out, they control their own destiny.
For some reason, I thought that the season was sunk.
No,
Dead, buried,
they can be
done.
in Indianapolis. If they beat Iowa, there's a pretty good chance because the rest of their schedule they should be. They're
That would be the most Wisconsin
Yes.
season ever.
also our good friend Tom Fernelli had a stat that Wisconsin over half of their points given up have been directly related to a turnover.
Okay.
So that's all they do. They just turn the ball over and give up points. Otherwise, their defense is like the greatest in the world.
Just got to limit those turnovers.
Yeah, which is impossible because they like to turn the ball over.
Jameis did a pretty good job.
That's true. Yeah, no, it's going to get people real mad if Wisconsin plays Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game.
I'm declaring it. I want Georgia, Cincinnati, Alabama,
Oregon.
Michigan.
Oh, okay, Michigan. That's good colors. All right, let's do Hot Seat Cool Throne. Hot Seat Cool Throne brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Coors Light is the beer that you drink when you need to chill out, when you need to take a break. We're always on the go. It is football season. You got to make that mental capture of the moment because football season doesn't last forever. And Coors Light is a beer that you can chill with on your couch, at a bar, with your friends. Whatever you want to do, Coors Light is there for you. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. It's literally made to chill. It's as crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Perfect for a moment to unwind when you crack open a ice-cold Coors Light. Coors Light is the one I choose when I need to unwind. So when you want to hit the reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light in the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Hank. Hot Seat Cool Throne.
My hot seat's Ed Asner. Dead
Yeah.
as fuck.
He is dead.
Yeah, RIP.
So we were wrong.
Big dead.
Big Rip Ed.
Super dead.
You dead bitch.
Dead Ed.
Yeah. How long has he been dead for?
6 months. 4
Whoa.
months.
Okay.
Body's not even cold.
Damn. Dead.
Just
Dead as
sad.
fuck.
Do you know what was Ed Asner famous for again?
Being dead.
I mean, I remember
on this show?
No,
Film and
on this
television.
show?
No, he was famous for being alive.
No, on this show, most famous for being dead. That's a fact.
He was the dude in Up.
Oh, the old guy?
Yeah, he
That's
voiced the
That's
guy
a
in
cartoon.
Up.
Oh, okay. That actually sad now. I
I
feel
thought that
bad.
was Joe Pa.
Yeah.
Okay. That's sad.
My cool throne is the NFL being pieces of shit and unbiased, biased and just ignoring cheating. I've talked about my, problems with the Manning cast and how every time I go on I get triggered, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Yesterday, I was watching the Celtics game ended. I flipped over to the Manning cast on TV One. Was like, let's tune into the boys. Saw some tweets. I missed the Brady part, but people said it was good. Quite literally, when I turned on the TV, Peyton Manning starts going off this rant about how the ball boys in Indianapolis used this special sauce and they did all these tricks of the trade and did all this shit with the ball. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he just admitted to these crimes. Twitter's going to be going crazy. There's going to be an investigation tomorrow, and it's just crickets.
Yeah, no,
nothing.
That part was ridiculous. Because
it was insane. I literally flipped off the channel. I couldn't. It was infuriating. It was infuriating.
It was crazy because they just had Tom Brady on,
yes.
And he was. I thought Tom Brady was great, by the way, on the Manning cast.
Always.
It's crazy to watch him discussing football as it happens. That was a great broadcast. But then they get him off, and the very next segment, Peyton Manning is literally saying, "Yeah, I had these 3 guys. I actually enacted the rule change that let me doctor my own balls the way that I like to." So that the quarterbacks could be better. I led a group of quarterbacks to do a petition to Roger Goodell saying we should be allowed to prepare our own balls. So we would sand them down. We had a special sauce that was made up that we'd rub them with. We used to get a belt sander on them sometimes. He was just openly talking about it. My big problem though was, why not have that conversation if you're going to have it? Have it when Brady is on the air with you.
I'm sure Tom Brady would have just went off and been like, this is absolute bullshit that the NFL did this $7 trillion investigation and suspended me for 4 games.
Yep.
And Payne was just like, yeah, we had our special sauce every game, and
I just love the idea of you just getting so angry. You turned it off. Stomping around
I love a
house.
good broadcast. We're in the business. I like to see what people are talking about. If people are like, this is good, I'll check it out. And then every time it's like, I turn on, they're like, oh, let's talk about the helmet catch. Let's talk about how we cheated so much with these balls, and no one gives a fuck because I'm Peyton Manning.
You know what would help calm you down in those moments?
What?
Brickles and pickles.
Yeah.
2 cats that you can, pussies you can
Brickles
just...
and
Yeah,
pickles.
I have the bet.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
It's Brickles and Pickles. We already know what it is.
You had 2 kittens that you could pet every time you got
listen
upset.
to it?
Unfortunately, from what I had, it had nothing to do with the cat.
I want one of the cats to be a little surly.
Yeah,
you
obviously
can cuddle up with one of them, but the other kind of hates you.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Buckeyes lose 4 games, PFT can't watch NFL football for the entire month of September next season. And if they lose less than, Hank can't watch the entirety of Week 1 of NFL next season.
Oh,
great.
Yeah, that's
Extended
not
summer
a
vacation.
punishment.
Let's go.
That's also
Yeah.
big time future
I
you.
didn't listen to the entire segment, but that's what I have so far.
That's not a punishment to Hank.
Yes,
He's going to go golf.
I'm a football guy.
He's going to go golf.
I'm a football guy through and through.
Damn.
You
Actually.
can't watch the Patriots, though.
Yeah.
He's still going to golf.
One other thing about the Manning cast last night, Drew Brees was on there for a little bit.
He also, they mentioned you guys briefly, the Barstool guys keep chirping my shirt.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
But Drew Brees went on, and I don't know if you happen to notice this, but he said, "Hey, I got some people that would like to say hi to you guys on the broadcast." And then he goes, "Say hi to my boys," and he brought his 2 boys on next to him. And he's like, it's a special treat. Let them stay up past their bedtime so they could say hi to the Mannings. Say hi, boys. And then after the boys say hi, his poor daughter reaches her head in from off frame.
No.
Drew Brees was making his daughter stand off frame while his sons were on frame. And she goes, hi. And then she immediately gets moved out of the way again. This son of a bitch I think he's trolling us now with this.
I can't tell if it's a joke at this point.
Because
that's
when it first happened, it was...
Maybe he's just super old school.
When
and just daughters don't exist?
Yeah.
it was just guy time. Boys watching football in the man cave. But when it first happened, and there were certain people that are just big care lords out there that are like, wow, he didn't throw a pass to his daughter when he was passing to his sons.
Yeah.
They're reaching for stuff. There's enough evidence out there that Drew Brees might hate his daughter. I'm just saying.
No, for sure.
I'm just saying. I've seen enough.
At this point,
it's enough to convene a grand jury.
Yeah.
I'm not convicting him yet, but we're investigating.
That's funny because I just looked for... I looked Drew Brees' daughter to try to find it, and the top tweet is just some guy named Matt Lewis who says, something, Drew Brees hates his daughter, PFT commenter.
Somebody tagged me in that?
Yeah.
No, but if you watch the video...
So this guy's just predicting the show.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
If you watch the video, it is It's exactly what I said. Like, she's off camera, and he's like, say hi to the boys.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Your hot seat coolter on PFT.
My hot seat is Pete Carroll. This is kind of a little hot seat because I think that Pete Carroll might be coaching for his job right now.
I think so, too.
How can you coach for your job with a backup?
Well, his job is a coach.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, that's a good question, though, Hank. I think in most circumstances, it'd be fair to be like, he's managing the best he can given the circumstances. But I think what the absence of Russell Wilson has shown is that Pete Carroll, without an elite quarterback, a guy that he kind of lucked into when he drafted in the third round. Every other team passed on Russell Wilson twice, if not 3 times. Russell Wilson's been doing a lot to keep Pete Carroll looking like a great coach.
Yes.
And Pete Carroll is a good motivator. I think he's probably a great recruiter because he can buy people houses. That's sweet. But I don't think that he's a great X's and O's guy. I don't think he's a good decision maker. Well, I don't think he's ever been. I think he's been like a good manager of talent.
He's a prime candidate for a guy who gets fired because it was just like, hey, it's time to move on. You know what I mean? Like it's. I was thinking like Lovie Smith when he got fired. I think he went 10-6 that year. It's like, all right, well, enough time has passed. Like, time to move on.
Yep.
You know, it's not that he's doing a bad job. It's just that you've been doing the same thing for a very long time, and if it doesn't ever progress, then it's time to move on.
What coach wins with bad quarterbacks? So
There have been a couple coaches. I mean, the Washington football team got to the playoffs last year.
So did the Bears. Although I think Mitch might be better than Mahomes.
I think he might be
Matt
too. And
let's
Deshaun
twist-
Watson.
Let's flip it and reverse it. Mitch Trubisky took a Matt Nagy coach team to the playoffs twice.
Yeah, that's a
Think about it
great
that
point.
way.
Also, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace did not draft someone who's been accused of 22 counts of sexual assault.
That's true.
So good job, Bears.
Also a fact.
Billy's been giggling over there for a long time.
What do you
And
got,
I have
Billy?
no idea what's going on, and I'm slightly
You
disturbed.
getting goofy? You getting goofy on our ass?
A little goofy.
Yeah.
Nothing pertaining to anything.
Okay. Cool.
Just using your imagination.
all right.
and laughing.
Cool throne.
My cool throne is Six Flags. And just being thrifty in general. There was an article that came out yesterday it was in Mel Magazine about a millennial who's trying to avoid spending a lot of money on eating out for lunch, eating out for dinners. This person named Dylan said that he talked to one of his coworkers, and she said that she was spending $1,500 a month on eating food, like going out to restaurants. It seems like a lot for somebody right out of college. But this guy, Dylan, he found a life hack, and he realized that if you can buy a season pass to Six Flags, add on the meal charge, you get unlimited food for $150. So this guy goes twice a day, every day, to Six Flags.
That's awesome.
To eat their food and doesn't spend any extra money on it.
That's
So
like a dining hall.
yes, it's like college dining hall, except you've got roller coasters around if you want to ride them while you're there.
That's so sick.
Wouldn't that be an awesome lunch break from your office job? Is
Yes.
like just go to Six Flags real quick,
Yes.
get a turkey leg, and like ride a roller coaster and come back to the office.
That is so sick.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a genius move.
Yes, absolutely genius. All right, my hot seat is me because I owe Bubba some shoes. So he hit the alternate under on Sunday, under 47 for the Chiefs and the Titans. I'm buying you the shoes. You picked them out. I will buy them.
Thank you.
I didn't mention it. I forgot it on Sunday.
I
but
did too, and I
yeah.
had like a million people
Yes.
tweet at me like,
Yes.
Big Cat doesn't pay up on his bets
I mean,
or something
yeah,
like he does every time.
Yeah, and I
literally just forgot to mention
Yeah, we
it.
all forgot. So,
So
yeah,
thank you again.
Not a scumbag. I bought the shoes. Billy, you're cheesing.
There's
He's
something
full
going
on
on in
cheese.
that mine.
Liam should get Yeezys. Just really go for it.
Oh, go all the way for it. No, he actually was. He respected it. I think they're like $250. Perfect. That's a good amount.
Yeah. Also, people were like sending me getting like $10,000 shoes.
Why would
like,
you
I
do
would
that?
be a
Yeah,
dickhead.
right. Oh, Hank would. He just looked at me like, yeah, I'd do that. Also, hot seat Gus Johnson, not the announcer Gus Johnson, but I thought for a second that Gus Johnson was getting canceled. Did you guys see that?
I saw his name trending.
Yeah, it's a streamer named Gus Johnson. I didn't know there was a Gus. Like, I read this whole apology. I thought it was from the announcer Gus Johnson, and then I realized halfway through that it wasn't.
What did he do?
I think he did something
so-
bad. He was like abusive to his girlfriend.
Yeah, one of the things is his wife was in the hospital and he went out to get beers
What?
with his friends.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
stuff like that.
but that's not why he was getting canceled, was it?
I think she was like, he told her that he'd break up with her. It's like really
If
fucked
she
up
gave
shit.
birth?
Either way, Gus Johnson, I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then my cool throne is the Bulls because the Bulls are back. Hank, you getting nervous? Bulls are good.
For what?
Winning. They're the last undefeated team in the East.
They are good. I bet them last night, Henry Hoops.
There we go. Oh, is that a new thing?
Yeah.
What has Henry Hoops got tonight?
Aha, the Sixers. As crazy as it sounds.
Okay. They're Philly Hank.
And the Lakers, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, love them both.
Whoa. Okay. Gus Johnson, the other Gus Johnson. I still don't really know who it is, but he got canceled. Gus Danger Johnson, Gus Buckets. Ooh. He's a Twitch streamer. You have anything else for us on that guy, Billy? You don't know anything else?
Pretty sure he just was abusive to his girlfriend.
Okay.
Disavow.
Disavow all Gus Johnsons. Jake,
I like the other Gus Johnson.
Not in football.
My hot seat are suits. Coaches, done with them.
What?
End of an era. NBA's already done it. I think college is going to do the same thing.
Good.
It's crazy.
It was always crazy they had to wear a suit. Let them.
Yeah, I still think MLB managers wearing a uniform is crazier.
No, yes. I like that, though.
No, it's great.
It is
just
crazy, but I love it. I love seeing a fat 65-year-old run out there in cleats and a belt.
So I think that's it.
I feel like there's some old school guys who will still wear a suit.
They might,
Like Rick Pitino's going to wear a suit.
Jay Wright.
Jay Cal.
Yeah, Jay Wright loves his suits.
Yeah.
But he did, Jay Wright looked very competitive when he was competitive casual when he was wearing the warm-up top and he was like a quarter zip guy.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed if I tuned into Villanova game and Jay Wright was not wearing a suit.
We'll see. 2 weeks away. My cool throne are the Florida Panthers. You guys have crapped on them a lot over the years on this podcast, but they're the best team in the NHL right now.
I think
you're 12 points.
Yeah, 6-0.
You're probably
hometown team.
The only person that's noticed that we've crapped on the Florida Panthers a lot.
Hey, remember you guys had a huge segment on them.
Oh, it was what's the least consequential team in modern sports?
And I think that's not crapping on them. That's just stating facts.
I think it's the Panthers, the Coyotes, and the Wizards.
Coyotes have those throwback jerseys, though, that are sick. That makes them have something.
The Yotes, and they also have Paul Bissonnette. Yeah,
Gretzky coach there.
Organization.
Yeah.
So
number one Panthers.
Shout out Sawgrass Mills. They play right next to a mall.
Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah,
love that. That's
6-0.
Florida. All right, Billy, let's finally get why you're cheesing.
I've just been smiling. I have no idea why you
just love life. Can't believe this is your life, smiling it through it all.
Yeah. My hot seat is a certain former Ole Miss quarterback who signed to the Toronto Argos in the CFL.
Eli Manning.
But if he
Jordan Reese Plumlee
didn't unblock
shout out to Duck
one
Hodges,
of his
by the way.
favorite fans, he would be getting a shout out on this podcast.
Oh,
so we're not saying his name.
We're not going to say his name.
We're not going to say his name. Okay.
Until I'm unblocked. My other hot seat is X Factor from Kansas City Chiefs because he's realizing that he can't get into the game this Monday, and he's trying to find ways around it, but everyone's shutting him down. So,
dress up like an old woman.
He just figured this out. Actually, that's actually very relatable to
yeah, he's like, I can't get in as X Factor. He thought he could get in as not X Factor.
Yeah. Oh, he thought he could get in as himself.
Yeah.
He thought X Factor was kicked out.
Yeah.
But Rodney or whatever his name is, what's his name?
Ty. He's like, I can just go in as Ty, and then they contacted and said, no, Ty cannot come in.
That's a great point. Yeah. I kind of agree with him on that.
My other hot seat was James Franklin. And then my cool throne is Russians. A Russian boxer, Ilya Medvedev, TKO'd a grizzly bear who attacked him in his fishing group and killed his friend. But he punched.
All right, so it wasn't a sanctioned fight?
I don't think it's a TKO.
If you kill a friend...
And if it's not a sanctioned fight...
If it's a bear attack, was there a referee that counted him out?
But also, wait, he's leaving out the most important part is the bear killed someone.
The bear
killed someone, then he was able to fend off the bear.
No, he killed the bear.
No, he TKO. It's not a TKO.
That's a KO.
It's a KO.
But
that's an LKO.
But the bear won. The bear
if he's
won.
Dead. No, if you're dead, you can't. It's not. He's not knocked out. He just can't continue the fight.
The bear won the undercard.
Yeah,
to life
decisively.
Just absolute demolishing. But then the Russian fighter won by knockout.
No, he fought the bear till could not continue
with his hands.
With his hands, and he shot him a couple times.
Okay, there it is.
No, but he shot him.
So
but
a
then
bear killed a guy, and then they shot the bear.
No, the bear. They shot the bear several times, but then the bear knocked the rifle out of his hands, and he hit the bear several times.
But the bear had already been shot.
But then knocked out the bear. It's insane.
Technically,
but the thing is, his third friend was the one who recounted this whole thing. So.
Not the first friend. He's dead.
First friend's dead.
Right.
So biased judge, per usual.
Yeah.
Classic boxing.
Yeah.
Okay. Good hot seat, cool throne. All right, let's get to our interviews. We've got a great interview with Coach Dick Vermeil, and then we have Mike Florio after that, and then we'll get to Guys on Chicks.
Before we get to Dick Vermeil, I want to talk to you guys about Shady Rays and their brand new limited edition Pardon My Take sunglasses. Since the beginning of the year, we've been creating something epic behind the scenes with our great friends over at Shady Rays, and we're excited to announce the all-new Pardon My Take limited edition Venturas are now available. I'm actually going to, you know what, I'm wearing the old grit shades right now. Going to put on the brand new ones, the limited edition. If you watch on the YouTube, you can see me changing sunglasses. Wow, that's weird. These are very comfortable sunglasses. They're actually my favorite Shady Rays that we've ever produced with them together. They're Ventura frames. They've got the black smoke. That's what I'm wearing right now, the black smoke lenses. Big Cat's favorite is the infrared smoke. It's more of a red sunglasses lens, and they are premium down to the packaging. You can get the full experience with a custom-designed box to store your shades. The outside has Shady Rays and Barstool branding, and the inside takes it up a notch with an exclusive Pardon My Take limited edition logo with the names of yours truly. It's got PFT, Big Cat, and Hank written right on there. We love these sunglasses, and they have the best warranty in the business. We love Shady Rays, and we're very excited to be partnering with them. So if you're thinking about getting these, I would recommend that you get them right now because the limited edition Pardon My Take shades are limited to 2,500 pairs. The last one sold out, so you got to be at the front of the line. They're not going to last beyond the fall season. Grab them now before they sell out. Don't wait till the holidays. These are 100% worth the price. Go to shadyrays.com/PMT. Grab your pair. Be the one to grab this special collaboration between Shady Rays and ourselves, available only at shadyrays.com/PMT. And now here's Dick Vermeil.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It is future Hall of Famer. I'm going to say it. Coach Dick Vermeil. He coached in the NFL, won a Super Bowl, coached for 3 different NFL teams. Coach, let's start with that. Because you are a finalist for the NFL Hall of Fame this upcoming year. Have you thought about what it would mean to you and maybe getting that knock on your door? And have you already pre-cried about it? Because that will be an emotional moment.
Well, I thought about it a lot since I got the phone call a month and a half or so ago. Actually, it was late August. I got the call while I was in the airport landing to go to the Napa Valley. Yeah, I got the call. It was it startled me. It really did, in a positive way. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity and the position they put me in through the voting for the coaches. And I'm sure the other coaches that didn't make it this year will make it next year because I know who they are. And they are certainly as deserving as I am, maybe just not as old. So the age, I think, helped me a little bit. But I'm very appreciative of this opportunity. Looking forward to it.
I think we need to discuss more how you are a trailblazer. I think getting the word out there about how you were actually the first special teams coach in the history of the NFL, right? The first full-time special teams coach?
Yeah. 1969, George Allen hired me. I was an assistant coach running the offense at Stanford University, coaching Jimmy Plunkett at that time.
Yeah, I mean, there are 3 phases to the game, right? We got 33 starters on each team. I mean, there's some overlap there, but special teams is important. You know that. So when you started being the first full-time special teams coach, what was your job? Why had there not been a full-time special teams guy before you?
Well, at that time, the entire NFL coaching staffs, they were all made up of 6 assistants and 1 head football coach, and they divided the special team responsibilities up amongst the staff. And it got a late preparation day, usually Friday and Saturday, to prepare for the special teams that are going to take place on Sunday. And George Allen, the year before, had lost a playoff game due to a kickoff return for a touchdown. And during the offseason, right, he and his staff went through and evaluated every kickoff coverage intensely. And they found out the 2 guys that missed the tackle hadn't made a tackle all year, but no one was following it that closely. So he said, I need to hire somebody that evaluate the performance of my special teams every Monday after Sunday's game. So I went to the ownership and got permission to hire a special teams coach. He called a friend of his, Peyton Jordan, head track coach at Stanford University, and asked him if he knew anybody that might be a special teams type coach that could lead guys in all these variations, because you get everybody on special teams in your meetings. And Peyton Jordan recommended me. And I was coaching offense at the time, quarterbacks at Stanford. And I interviewed for the job, and he gave it to me. So thanks to Peyton Jordan, and then George Allen being, a visionary, really. He started the nickel, he started the dime defenses and those kind of things. And he started special teams.
Yeah.
I was there 1 year and was offered the offensive coordinator's job at UCLA, and I took it. And then Marv Levy took my job, God bless him, a great man to this day.
Yeah.
So that's the story. And, I was very thankful also. I had the advantage of Howard Snellenberger being on the Rams staff at that time. And Howard, having coached in Alabama under Bear Bryant, where kicking game was really critical and a big phase of their preparation every week, he helped me gain some knowledge in regard to the special teams, more so than I would have just on my own. Yes, I coached special teams myself in high school and junior college and that kind of thing. But in college, I didn't. I was coaching offense. So Howard Snellenberger was my go-to guy at that time.
You mentioned high school and junior college. I love about your career, you are a football guy through and through. You have the distinction of being named Coach of the Year in high school, junior college, and at the professional level. So you have done it all. Your career path is incredible. How you basically went from the smallest to the largest in terms of the football world. My question though is, you don't see a lot of guys like you who coach the Eagles, you go to the Super Bowl, you lose the Super Bowl, then you walked away from coaching for a very long time. What happened that made you say, hey, I want to take a step back from coaching and maybe do something else? You were in media.
Well, guys, I was guilty of allowing a passion to become an obsession. And I got so I couldn't turn the game off, especially so during the season. And I found myself in a hole because I always blamed myself for what went wrong Sunday. And it really negatively influenced my preparation for the next game, because I would evaluate the films and my decisions on Monday for why we lost yesterday, and I'd blame it all on me. And I kept thinking about that all week, about what I should have done last week, and it negatively influenced my preparation for what I should do this week. And then all of a sudden I'd be Friday to play this next game, and I'd be looking at film, and that time it was film, and say, geez, why didn't I see this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? It's too late to install what I'm seeing now. And I felt I was in a spiral downhill in terms of being the leader and running my own offense as I did, coaching my own quarterbacks and that kind of stuff. And so I decided to take a year off and get away from it. And in doing so, I was offered a job with CBS to broadcast football games, and I went from making $75,000 a year to $150,000 a year, working 16 weekends and then doing a few college bowl games. So it was stealing for a living in comparison, and I enjoyed it. It kept me close to the game, but I still always thought I'd go back into coaching. And I'm not bragging when I say this, but 13 of the 14 years I was out, I had somebody contact me.
That's crazy.
And the finest job I was ever offered was offered on the phone in about 1986 or 7. And I turned it down because I was a little afraid I would end up in the same hole I was in. But thank heavens for the Rams and John Shaw and Georgia Frontier and Jay Zygmunt of the Rams. Every time that job had been open, I had been contacted and asked if I was interested, because I had worked for Georgia as an assistant coach.
Right.
Okay, I had worked there. And she knew me, and I think she had confidence in me, and she felt comfortable with me. And they offered me the job, and I decided, if I don't go back now, I'll never go back. I'll be too old, so I went back.
What was the job? What was the job in 1986 that you were offered, the finest job?
Well, it was actually Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ah.
It was Mr. What's his name? Culverhouse. He called me up. And he said, Coach, I understand you're a candidate for the Atlanta Falcon job. And I said, that's just a strong rumor. I asked him to give me a week to think about it, and I'd get back. And he said, well, it's out that you're going to go there. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, you know something, Coach? I've made more money in my life that I could spend in 2 lifetimes, and I'm offering you the Tampa Bay job. You can write your own contract. That's exactly what he said to me. Guys, I haven't told many. I don't know if I've ever told anybody I'm interviewing that story. And I was visiting my dad, who was dying of pancreatic cancer at the time in the Napa Valley. And I sat down and I said, Dad, you can't believe just what happened. I said, Mr. Culverhouse from Tampa Bay called me and offered me the head coaching job and said I could write my own contract. And my dad looked at me, and he wasn't very good health. He says, Dick, do you need the aggravation? I said, no. He said, then you better not take it.
Wow.
So,
That's incredible, because you don't hear it very often with football coaches. I think on this show we talk often about how football coaches have to have a little bit of a screw loose to have that obsession, and you're the rare case where you knew the screw was loose, and you're like, I got to take a step back, and I got to find some balance in my life.
Well, I'll tell you this. In broadcasting in the NFL, I visited a lot of head coaches, and I won't give you their names, but I sat behind closed doors with a few of them. Their screw was almost as loose as mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sleeping in the office during the week, not going home at all. It does become an obsession. I think that a lot of the most successful coaches right now in the NFL, to a certain degree, have that obsession that drives them to be excellent, but at what cost? Like, they probably don't have the same balance in their life that you found out was important to you.
Yeah, but, they have over 20 assistant coaches today.
Yeah,
true. That's true. So I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers record in 1985, 1986. They were 2-14 in 85, 2-14 in 86, 4-11 in 87. I'm just curious, why did that become the most attractive coaching offer that you could ever get in your life? Because that's not the same Buccaneers that we have today.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't call them; they called me.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Culverhouse had a very good relationship with Leonard Tost, my owner at the Eagles. And I'm sure that Leonard was positive about my performance with him as a head coach and my great relationship I had with him as coach owner. And I think Hugh Culverhouse appreciated that. And he was desperate. So he called me. And that's it. I talked to other owners too, but I never had anybody say, you can write your own contract.
Mm-hmm. So
I had a great respect for him as a man anyway. But my dad finalized it for me. I wasn't ready for the aggravation. And like you said, if you're not ready for it, then don't do it.
Yeah. So you decide to come back. You end up coaching St. Louis, the greatest show on turf. You kind of started that entire era of football for the St. Louis Rams. You get to the Super Bowl. The last play of the game, the Titans, they reach out at the 1 yard line. They come about a yard and a half short. But when I was watching on TV, it looked like maybe his knees were still off the turf while he was reaching out. From your point of view on the sidelines, can you walk us through what you saw in that last play?
Well, you have the worst seat in the house, especially when the end zone here is 50 yards to your left. And there's a whole crowd of pile and offensive people in front, blocking your vision. So I didn't really see. I turned to look at the officials coming in from the sideline, and I was waiting for them to either cross their arms or go like that. I had no idea what they happened. And when I saw them go like that, then I said, that's it. We are world champions. And if it was that close, and I know I've talked to Jeff, who's a fine coach in his own right, he would have probably gone for 2 if he had made it. And we may not have been able to stop him because they have been pounding on us pretty good. They wore us down in that second half.
Yeah.
So here I am sitting as a Super Bowl winning coach. But, for all these things, because I've been there and lost, it takes the same thing to get there and lose as it does to get there and win. Unlike the NBA, unlike Major Baseball, it's not the best of 7. It's the best of 1. You don't play that well that day, you're not the world champion. But you're still a hell of a football team, and your organization did everything everybody else did to get there. So I have great admiration for both teams, and just as much for the team that lost.
Yeah. And that season in particular, obviously you start the season, Trent Green, he gets hurt in the preseason. You go to Kurt Warner. Was there a point in time in that season where you're like, oh, man, this guy – this is something, because he's a backup, relatively unknown guy who goes on to a Hall of Fame career, lights the league on fire. Was there a particular moment, maybe even in practice, where you're like, oh boy, like this guy, this isn't just a regular backup, this is the guy?
Well, the year before, when he was our third quarterback running the scout team offense, there were a number of times I walked off the field and said to myself, either this kid can play or my defense is horse manure. Okay. It would, and I would talk about it. But there was a specific time, and it's in the Ram highlight film. I'm standing next to Jim Hannafin on the sideline on the 50-yard line. God bless Jim Hannafin. Where he had 21-0. He had thrown 3 touchdown passes versus the 49ers, like the 5th game of the season, that had beaten us 17 times in a row. And I turned to Jim and I said, Jim, this kid can play. That's exactly it. But thanks to Mike Martz and my offensive staff, they did a beautiful job of taking truly a gifted offensive team. There's 5 guys in that that'll end up in the Hall of Fame. 4 of them are already in, and Torrey Holt will be next. Okay. So, I mean, it was a gifted offense, but it took a guy like Mike Martz and Al Saunders and Hannafin and John Masco and all these guys, Wilbert Montgomery, to put it in that greatest show on turf. We had built the foundation for that offense in the first year and the second year in losing, but no one recognized it. But the fundamental approach we took to practice. Remember, in those days, guys, there was no limit on how long you could stay on practice field.
Yeah.
There was no limit on how many contact practices or how many times you could wear the pads. That team never took the pads off for 2 years on the practice field.
Yeah.
So it was built that way. And then God love Mike Martz. And he came in, I gave him the responsibility and backed him in every way I could. And combined with the rest of those guys, they put it together. They took advantage. And Kurt Warner, I knew he could play. I did not know he could play that well.
Yeah.
Nobody did.
Well,
yeah.
You also spotted, the movie Invincible. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that guy, Vincent. How do you say his last name? Is it Papale?
Vince Papale. Now, I'll tell you guys.
You spotted him.
I have seen Kurt Warner's new movie by Lionsgate. In fact, the whole crew was here yesterday and interviewed me about it. We saw it in the Napa Valley. They brought it up from Southern California and showed it to me and my guests in a private viewing. It is outstanding. An outstanding football sports movie. Really well done.
I have a question about Al Saunders real quick. You mentioned his name. Was his playbook actually 700 pages?
No,
That seems like a lot of pages.
Yeah, it was very, 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 very thick. I've got it in there. I can hardly lift it. Okay, yeah, it's very, very heavy. And Mike Martz was not a big book guy. He really didn't like to put what he was thinking on paper, and I made him do it. I said, I want an offensive notebook, and it was well done and condensed. Al put everything on paper, and just contrasting philosophies. And they're both, Al Saunders did a great job coordinating my offense, the same offense at the Rams that we took with us to Kansas City. And then we emphasized the running game a little more because we had Hall of Fame left tackle, Hall of Fame right guard, Hall of Fame tight end, a nominee for the Hall of Fame at left guard, and all pro at center. Other than that, why not run the football?
Yeah. So we talked about Kurt Warner. I want to throw another name out there because I'm always fascinated about interactions with people before they become legends. Kurt Warner, everyone knows him as a legend, but they don't really remember him as a backup quarterback. The other one, you had very early interaction. I think when you were playing, he was a graduate assistant, Bill Walsh, who, revolutionized football and is a Hall of Famer and an unbelievable coach. You knew him before all of that. Is that a guy where when you first met him, you're like, oh, something's different about him. Like he sees this whole thing differently than everyone else.
I could tell you a ton of stories about Bill. I was a player at San Jose State my first year. He was a graduate assistant, and he was writing his master's degree. Okay, and then he became a head coach at Washington High School in Fremont, California. I was going to do my student teaching under him when I got out and got my master's. What happened, he was hired by Marv Levy to go to Cal, so I went someplace else. I went to another high school, and then we maintained a relationship. Our wives became good friends, and Bill and I became good friends. Then he's coaching at Stanford, and he recommends me to John Ralston. I'm a junior college coach at Napa College now, head coach. And he recommended me to John Ralston, and Ralston hired me as the freshman coach. I was the freshman coach 1 year. Then the next year I was the running back coach at Stanford with Jim Plunkett, Gene Washington, and those guys. So we just built that relationship. And then I became a head coach before he did, and he was the offensive coordinator for Paul Brown at the Cincinnati Bengals. And we maintained a great relationship. We became very close friends. And in fact, the wine business I'm in, Bill would have been in it with me if he hadn't passed prematurely.
Yeah. So
I learned a lot from him, too.
Yeah. And he's, he's a fascinating figure in the history of football. When he was, implementing his offense and his philosophies, was there a belief like, oh, this guy's crazy? Like, what is he talking about? This is different than what we've done. Using the passing game as almost a running game. How was it like perceived back then before it became something that everyone does now in today's NFL?
Very, very good question.
Good question.
Initially, Sid Gilman was working with me. Neither one of us liked some of the basic concepts. We were vertical stretch,
right?
Pass offense. Bill did, yes, vertical stretch, but he liked horizontal stuff. A wide receiver here won 1 yard across the line of scrimmage over to the other sideline and throwing the ball on a dead run and these kinds of things. He brought all that. We call them zero routes. He brought all that stuff into the game. And at first, I can remember Sid saying, God, I don't like that. I mean, how are you going to make any yards of that? But high percentage completion to a receiver running full speed. If it's zone, he runs through the zone. Sometimes you would settle him down. If it's man, the guy's chasing him across the field. If it's man, everybody else is tied up with a wide receiver. He catches the ball, running room. So I think Bill did those kind of things. Bill had great ability to look at film in those days and define exactly the best ways to attack the scheme that he's going to play this Sunday. And I'll tell you this, he could take almost any quarterback and play well with the guy. Now, he's not a Hall of Famer like Montana or Young, but I remember the weekend I'm in broadcasting, I go to a 49er game. I sit with Bill the night before the game, and we're BSing and all that kind of stuff. And he tells me he's going to play this kid who was just cut from the San Diego Chargers because his quarterbacks were hurt and couldn't play. And his dad was a politician, and an NFL quarterback from Buffalo. Come on, guys, a politician.
We'll help you.
Passed away.
Hold on.
Bradley.
No. He was centered, Buffalo quarterback, great player.
Flutie.
Jack Kemp.
Jack Kemp. There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
His son.
Ran for
his
vice
son,
president.
God bless him. He starts the game and throws for over 300 and something yards. He's been with the 49ers for 3 weeks. Bill had a magic touch with quarterbacks, and he knew what they looked like. He knew what they looked like, and he knew what he wanted, and he could teach them to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So,
that's fantastic because it's the history of the game when you start talking about that and the people who came along and figured out a new way to look at things. Even we talk about defense and offensive football, like how guys can look at something. We've done it one way the whole, for the entire history and be like, no, let's do it this way, whether it be up-tempo, West Coast offense, 46 defense, anything like that. Yeah,
no question. When I worked with Bill as an assistant coach at Stanford, he was a secondary coach.
That's crazy.
And, we had a small coaching staff, and we had a small coaching office. We're all together working on game plans on Monday for the next game. And Bill would give his thoughts offensively. And remember, Bill was left-handed. So he would start writing things that he thought might be good offensively. Now, he's a defensive coach, and he'd be moving left to right and talking over his right shoulder. John Ralston, the head coach, would be walking behind him, erasing it. See, he couldn't see.
And it's like it's a great story.
He couldn't help himself.
Yeah,
he could not help himself.
And it's a great story because it's Bill Walsh. Like if Bill Walsh wants to give you a tip on your offense, you listen. It's Bill Walsh.
Who knows?
But like
what was
at the time, it's like no, you're the secondary coach. Yeah.
At that time, he was just Bill Walsh.
Yeah,
but it's probably
becoming the legend of Bill Walsh.
It's smart to have a guy that he knows. If he knows the secondary really well, he also probably knows how to exploit it. Think like, what's my worst nightmare? What would take advantage of this defense that I'm putting into place? That's probably a really great way to learn about something that you want to end up attacking later on in life.
Well, he always said he learned a lot from Paul Brown as well. Bill Walsh was one of the first guys that really started reducing the amount of contact during the week in full pads on a practice field.
Huh.
He was one of the first guys to do that. Why? Paul Brown. Paul Brown's influence on it. But anyway, and to tell you a story I haven't told many people in regard to Bill Walsh. I'm broadcasting a Cincinnati Bagel game, and Bill Walsh is no longer there. Bill Johnson's the head coach. And I asked Paul, standing on the sideline, I'm watching a Friday practice, and I said, Mr. Brown, I said, Bill Walsh is a really great friend of mine and one of my closest friends. Why didn't you give him the head coaching job? And he said, simply, I knew he was a great football coach. He said, I just didn't know if he could handle the highs and lows of winning, because sometimes you're going to lose more games than you win, and I didn't know if Bill could handle it.
Huh.
And that's, he didn't question his ability to be a football coach. And if you know Bill closely, there was a lot of this in Bill.
Yeah.
Most people didn't see that. The close friends saw it.
Yeah. So fast forward to after you win a Super Bowl with St. Louis, you decide to walk away from the game again. At a time when it looked like the offense was poised to go on, a multi-year run. You left them in a better place than you found them. What was the reason for you walking away the second time? And do you regret not staying around at that job for another couple years and trying to get another couple Super Bowls?
I wish I had stayed, but I don't actually regret it. I did what I thought was right. I have 3 kids, 11 grandkids, and I was missing a lot of the important part of a person's family life. Me living in St. Louis, and I never sold my 100 acres of ground where I'm talking to you from right now in Chester County. It was there, and my kids were utilizing it, hunting on the property and all that kind of stuff. And, and starting to have their own families and that kind of stuff. And I was missing a lot. Plus, I also recognized it was an opportunity to go out of coaching on top. Many of your great coaches never got to go out on top. Tom Landry didn't go out on top. There was a lot of people that didn't get to finish their career as world champions. And I have a couple Coach of the Year trophies back here. And there's names on it that got fired after they won Coach of the Year. You guys know that as well as I do. So I felt it was an opportunity to be a world champion the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And in May of following that decision, I'm handing out the Super Bowl rings at a beautiful banquet that Georgia Frontier, John Shaw, and Jay Ziegman put on in St. Louis. And I'm saying to myself, what the hell did I do? I worked my butt off for 3 years, helped build this football team, put the staff together, built the culture within the community there, and I'm not a part of it anymore. And I felt a little empty after that. I felt a little empty.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, here comes Carl Peterson, who I hired at, kept at UCLA when I was there, brought him with me to Philadelphia. And he comes to visit me right here in Chester County where I'm sitting right now and says, Dick, we want you to come back and coach our Kansas City Chiefs. And we talked for about 8 hours that day, and Lamar Hunt got involved. And, Lamar Hunt is one of the all-time great leaders and one of the all-time great influences on pro football. And I said, I'll do it. I'll do it. So it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, was to go back. Kansas City was a great organization, great people. It wasn't torn apart at the seams like the Eagles were and the Chiefs were. The Rams were. Both of those teams were the losingest teams in pro football when we took them over. And the Chiefs were not that kind. There was stability and good leadership, and I didn't need to have 51% vote on personnel because I had a guy that I'd help raise. And there were times we didn't agree, and he was the boss, so he took it. It wasn't a big factor. But I really, I'm grateful I made that decision and listened to Carl Peterson and Lamar Hunt.
Yeah. So you mentioned UCLA. I wanted to throw out another one. So I was listening to an interview you did, I don't know when it was, maybe a year and a half ago. The 1976 Rose Bowl. UCLA, you're coaching UCLA. You beat Ohio State 23-10. You're 15.5-point underdogs. You had lost to Ohio State earlier in the year. And I heard the story. You basically told your team, listen, we all just have to figure out a way to have our best game together at the same time. Yeah. Was there ever another time that your team was able to do that, where every guy was able to have their best game on the same day? Because 15.5-point underdogs and you win by 13 points, and that's, a big upset. Did you ever have that again? How were you able to get everyone to be like, hey, some of you might have your best game one day, but we all have to do it together on this day?
It's funny you mentioned that. Yesterday, I'm going through for my files looking for something. I found my presentation to my Rose Bowl football team the first day back to start our 15-day preparation to play Ohio State. I found it word for word, printed, not even typed, printed. And what I did is I went to my key players and asked them if they felt they'd already played the finest game they'd ever played in their careers. And not one of them, Randy Cross, John Shira, these guys, good players, they all said no, they didn't think they'd played their best game. And I said, you know something, guys? Collectively, me as a coach and you as players, for us to beat Ohio State, we're all going to have our best game on the same day. You know, a lot of teams lose football games. There's certain guys on the 11 starting on offense or defense who had the finest game they ever played, but it wasn't a collective thing. So I sold that, and I had made a mistake. I had told them in the locker room after we beat USC to go to the game, Rose Bowl. I said, you know, guys, we're going to have a lot of fun going to Rose Bowl. Well, halfway through the preparation, they walked out on me. They walked out. They didn't show up to practice. And Shira came up to my office. He says, Coach, we got a problem. He says, guys say they're not practicing. They aren't having any fun. And you told them that's what they were going to do. And you're working this double days. And I said, well, John, they only give us 15 days, and they've already beaten the hell out of us on national television. And the only way to have any fun going to the Rose Bowl is to win. So we're in double days so we can improve everybody individually and collectively and play better game day. So, and I'll come down to the locker room. So I go down there, lo and behold, there's nobody in uniform. I mean, it's time to go to practice. There's nobody in uniform. So I was a lot more intense and loud at that time. I ripped their asses. Okay, I ripped them. And I told them I was going to go on the field, carry a sign, and tell them anybody that played high school football that would like to play in the Rose Bowl in a couple of weeks, come and see me. I got guys that don't want to play in this game. So help me God. And lo and behold, I said, I'm going to dress for practice, and I'm going to be out there in 20 minutes. And those of you who want to go to the Rose Bowl and win the damn thing, come on out. Those that don't, stay in here. And lo and behold, one at a time, they started filtering out there. We started practice. And the next day I cut it to single practices, which was my plan anyway. But, hard work is not a form of punishment, but a lot of kids think it is.
Yeah.
That's your job as a coach, to teach them it is not. It's a solution. It's the way you get. There's no correlation between working less and getting better. Never has been, never will be, especially in football. Now, you can get fresher and not be as tired. And I'm guilty of sending teams in to play games, especially late in the year, tired, because I'd worked them too hard during the week. And if I went back, I'd change that. I'd learn. But they played lights out. Lights out.
That's awesome.
Wendell Tyler could have broke the all-time rushing record in a Rose Bowl if he wanted to, and Woody Hayes walked across the field with a minute to go in the game and congratulated me during the timeout. It's been documented. It was on national television. So it worked.
How long after that resounding victory, I mean, you went around to all your players and you were like, hey, have you played your best game yet? It sounds like that was a pretty good strategy to get them to envision playing better than they had before. Did you ever try to replicate that later on? You're like, you know what, that Rose Bowl strategy worked pretty well. I'm going to try to do it again.
You have to be careful in doing that, especially when you think you're going to be there a long time. I'll tell you, when I did it again in 1979, the world champion Pittsburgh Steelers came to Philadelphia to play like the fourth or fifth game of the season. I think we were 4-1 and they were 5-0. And I took that approach this week. I said, listen, guys, the only way we're going to beat the world champions is for all of us to have a good day on the same day. If the defense plays well and the offense plays poorly, we lose. If the special teams break down, we lose. If I make poor decisions, we lose. Collectively, we can beat the world champions if we all try to have our best game on the same day. We beat them. We beat them.
Yeah.
And that sent Philadelphia, it put our team, it ignited our football team's self-esteem. All of a sudden, they felt totally different about themselves. We went on into the playoffs. We won the first game, got beaten the second game. The next year, we went to the Super Bowl and lost. But that game was the game that convinced these guys. Remember, we didn't have a first, second, or third round pick my first 2 years there, and they'd been losing. And we didn't have a first or second my third year there. Mm-hmm. And the fourth year, we beat Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? Because these kids worked their butts off and got better.
So that Super Bowl, the Eagles Super Bowl, I remember watching NFL films as a kid, and the storyline that came out of it was the Raiders their team was loose. They were able to party in New Orleans. They had guys going out all week, and the Eagles maybe a little bit more tight, a little more regimented. Did that ever dawn on you afterwards or during the week of, hey, maybe we got to loosen it up here? Because the Raiders, that was back in the true like silver and black, like Raiders going out, getting drunk, coming and kicking your ass on Sunday days.
I'll say this: we had 11 o'clock curfew all week. Okay, what they did before, after meetings between that and 11 o'clock was their business. But I told them this: if anybody embarrassed Philadelphia Eagle ownership and my coaching staff, I could send their ass home. They wouldn't play in the game. Okay, if that made them too uptight or ruin their week, I don't know. What really killed us, first off, I didn't do a good job running the offense. The defense did a good job. And I can make some excuses, but we are -3 in turnovers. How do you win a Super Bowl being -3 in turnovers? And part of that was my fault. And so I accept that. But we went into the game. They're a press man coverage guys with glue on their hands, if you remember.
Yep.
And I was minus my second and third wide receiver. I had Harold Carmichael. I didn't have my other starter. Charlie Smith had broken his jaw against Minnesota. We let him suit up and play the first snap of the game. Then he watched the game. Scott Fitzke had a stress fracture, my third receiver, and couldn't play in the game. The guy that cut the touchdown pass was a walk-on kid, Parker, and he can't match up against that press man-to-man in that guy. And we weren't far enough along in our own offensive scheme how to take advantage of other areas because the corners are in press man where other areas they can't press. And I didn't do a good job there. If I could do today against the Raiders at that time what they were doing then, knowing what I know now, would beat the hell out of them. Yeah. But I didn't learn fast enough. Okay?
Yeah. I had one last question for you, Coach. This has been awesome. It's the Roback question. Use code PFT on Roback.com for 20% off your first purchase. RHOBACK.com. Code PFT. They make the best performance Q-zips and hoodies, and they just dropped new gear for the fall. So use code PFT for 20% off Roback.com. All right, my last question was, I alluded to it at the beginning. You are one of the greatest criers in the history of the NFL, and I mean that in a positive way, because I always loved how emotional you were for your guys and how emotional you were for your team. Was there ever a moment where your team was like, "Hey, Coach, can you stop crying for a second?" Because I thought it was always a positive. I was like, if Dick Vermeil, if you get a big win out of Dick Vermeil, he's going to cry, and it's going to be great. It's going to make everyone else cry too.
Yeah, well, it used to bother me. And I'm sure that there were players that make jokes about it or something like that behind my back and laugh about it. I've heard of it. Now they feel real. I was with 6 of them the other night for a birthday dinner, as I said. But anyway, that took us out for dinner. All Eagles, okay? Berge, LeMaster, Randy Logan, Spagnuolo, Krefley, these guys. And I'm sure that they're – but, you have to be yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be authentic. And I'm an emotional guy. I have always been an emotional guy. And, not too long ago, it's been a while now, General Schwarzkopf, I read his stuff, I read his book, and I knew how he felt. But he was on 60 Minutes with Barbara Walters. And she asked him about why he was so emotional and sheds tears from time to time and people around him. And he said, Barbara, I don't worry about those guys under me that shed tears. I worry about those guys that don't. He said, the guys that do, I know they really care. I know where their passion is. I understand them. And that made me feel better. I used to walk in a stadium to go out for pregame warm-up, and fans would yell, "Hey, Vermeil, why don't you cry for me?" I felt like flipping him the bird. I didn't do it, But, I think it's very, very important to be authentic. Be who you are. Because sooner or later, players figure who you are anyway. And when you're consistent, they'll trust you. They'll trust you. And they may not always agree with everything you do or say, but when they know you are you. And I think they buy in more quickly that way.
It's a great lesson, yeah.
We saw it with Dan Campbell. He obviously cares about his team, and he got emotional. And when we saw that, we were like, I appreciate this guy being so passionate about his players and his guys and his opportunity. I love football guys love to cry about opportunities. If you have that passion for something, then I'm buying in to what you're doing.
Well, I'll tell you that Ray Agnew is assistant GM there right now. Okay, I sent Ray a note yesterday. He played defensive tackle for me at St. Louis Rams. We remained very close all these years, and great guy. And I sent him a note in regard to that situation. I like watching Detroit Lions play. They play balls out. Okay, I mean they may not win that freaking ball game, but they're going to take some prisoners. Okay, they're going to get after you. And I think the first minute you don't respect them, you're going to get your butt knocked off. And eventually, that will permeate into positive experiences. That's happened to my teams. I've taken over 3 losing football teams. The first 2 years, we won about 40% of our games. Our third year, we won over 70% of them. Sometimes it takes time. And I wasn't big on early just getting rid of people. I like to see what people had, and maybe they do fit. They just didn't, what they were asked to do wasn't what they can do real well. And so, I respect Campbell. I really do. I think they're going to end up being a good football team. They play Philadelphia this week.
Yeah.
They play Philadelphia in there. It'll be Philadelphia better be ready. Because you're going to get their helmets knocked off every week. And that's a reflection of their head coach and their coaching staff.
I love it. You are a football guy, but like you're probably the best adjusted football guy we've ever had on, because like these life lessons and I, like I said, the crying thing, like I just always love, like that's if you watch, any press conference, any, post game, it's like, how would you not want to play for a guy like that? Because he cares. He cares.
I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying this. What I said to Ray Agnew yesterday in a note I wrote a long time ago, that rebuilding a losing football team is like remodeling your home and living in it while you're doing it. Everything is disruptive. People walk by the street and say, geez, what a ugly looking house that is. And your wife's mad at you and nothing fits and all that. But you gradually rebuild it from the inside out. And all of a sudden, people are walking by that house you rebuilt and say, God, it looks a lot better than I ever thought it would.
Yeah.
And that's the NFL coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what would be the first step in that? If you're redoing the foundation, you can't paint the siding on the first week. That's, you put the finishing touches, the cosmetic stuff on later. If you're fixing the Lions or a team in that situation, how do you address that straight up?
You start out telling the truth. And the first training camp, you guarantee them this, that they may not make the football team, but by the end of training camp, they're going to be better football players. And those that make it, a guy used to say, like the guys that landed in Normandy, not all of them made it, but at the end, everybody wins. And that's just the way it is in the NFL. There are times I cut people, I would have loved to have been able to keep them on the roster because they were making a contribution to us eventually going to be in a better football team. They just weren't gifted enough. But they had everything else. And sometimes they had more in terms of commitment and desire to play well. And, it's harder to do that now, guys, because the union controls how much time you spend on the practice field, not how much time the team needs to get better, And when players start working at a level and a tempo and an effort that they start seeing the reward from their work, it becomes what they really believe in. And like I always tell them, guys, you're going to end up making more money when you play better.
Yeah.
And it's all controlled in your effort every day to get better. And it's my job to provide you in the environment and the assistant coaches that can help you get better. And I've said this many times, and I've had the opportunity to prove it. Winning is not complicated. People complicate it.
I love it. That's a great lesson. Coach, thank you so much. Best of luck. We're rooting for you to make the Hall of Fame. And we really appreciate you joining us and giving us some of your time.
It's always exciting as hell to talk football. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
My pulse rate, I'm 85 years old Friday. My pulse rate right now is a hell of a lot better, higher than normal.
Let's go.
Anytime you want to talk football.
I love it, Coach.
Come on back. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All
Anytime.
right.
Call me.
See ya.
Dick Vermeil is brought to you by our great friends over at Sling. You can go to sling.com/barstool, sign up now, get your first month starting at just $10. If you love watching live sports but you're tired of the high prices, it's time to take control of your TV experience. It's high time that you got Sling. Sling is the place where your favorite sports channels like ESPN, FS1, TNT, and more, you can find those all together for less. With the Sling Blue and Sports Extra package, you get Red Zone, NFL Network, and more for only $21 your first month. Plus, you can watch past episodes of Pardon My Take. You can watch The Yak. You can watch Stool Streams. You can see exclusive new Barstool content for free on the Barstool Sports channel, only on Sling. It's easy to use, easy to set up. Set up now. Get your first month for just $10 when you use sling.com/Barstool. Whatever you're into, Sling is where you can find the live sports that you love all in one place. Sling.com/Barstool. Sign up now. Get your first month starting at just $10. Now here's Mike Florio.
And now for something completely different.
Okay, we now welcome on our very good friend, recurring guest, Mike Florio. I noticed that you have your book in the background, Playmakers. Out soon? Out soon.
Well, March 15. It's really not as soon as I would like it to be. It's ready to go. You can pre-order it now. We do a Playmakers podcast for the people who have pre-ordered, exclusive access, et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, it's not out until March 15.
So I had a thought the other day. This is going to shock you. I had a thought that I was going to maybe actually read it. Now, I didn't open it. I didn't do anything with that thought, but I had the thought.
At least you're getting there.
Yeah.
And maybe by March 15 of 2023, you actually will start reading it. You guys have two of the very rare advanced copies. There weren't many, and you each got one. And I sent them both knowing that the chances of you guys reading them were somewhere between no fucking way and never in a million years.
Well, actually, Mike, I have mine. I didn't want to take it out of the package that you sent it in because it's worth so much more on the resale market. Once these things go and they're gone for good, I'm going to be raking it in. So I'm going to put that sucker on eBay. What's his name? King Golden says he expects it to get $750,000 bid on it, minimum.
Can I have it back if I ask nicely?
Well, that actually is a great segue to bring us to our point of having you on today, which is the Tom Brady ball, the 600 touchdown ball that got given away by Mike Evans to a fan. It's our position that the Bucs went over there and they kind of bullied the guy into giving the ball back, and eventually they made it better. Tom said that he's given him like a Bitcoin. He got a couple signed jerseys, season tickets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We had a discussion on Sunday's show. We wanted to get to the bottom of it legally. You're a former lawyer. At least you say that you are. Did they have a right to demand the ball back, or once it gets handed to the fan, does it become his property or her property?
I actually did research on this. The first legal question I have researched in years. I quit practicing in 2010, and what I did was, now look, I don't know whether or not there's some quirk in Florida law. After all, it is Florida. There could be some personal property law there that would allow someone who gives someone else something to go reclaim it within a certain period of time, like some sort of, regret law or some BS like that they've concocted. But I looked at the season ticket agreement. I looked at the general ticket agreement. I looked for anything in there that would give the Buccaneers the ability to go to someone who got a souvenir, whether it got kicked, thrown, or handed, and say, you have to give that back. And I found nothing. I checked with someone else. It's a team-by-team procedure. And I guess if you wanted to, you could put a provision like that in the ticket. You have all sorts of BS, fine print, boilerplate stuff on a ticket. There's nothing on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tickets that would give them the right to go get it. And think about what a PR debacle it would be if you have one of your players hand somebody something and then they go and try to take it back. Bad customer relations, bad PR, and I don't think they'd have a leg to stand on if it would end up in court.
That's Washington football team giving. We don't do that.
Yeah, well, and Washington football team would probably be the only team that would try to do something like that, sue a fan over something that ended up in the stands.
So you're looking up this law, and was there any moment where you're like, what am I doing?
No, because you guys asked me to do something, and I do it. I mean, what the hell? That's what family does. I'm telling you, we're taping this at noon Eastern, and I have a very rigid Rain Man schedule for my lunch. I'm delaying my lunch for this. So you guys want me to do something, I do it.
Okay. Not only that, I saw that you usually put your power rankings out at exactly noon on Tuesdays. We kind of interfered with that as well. You had to put them out.
Had to get them done early. Had to stay up late last night. After I researched Florida law, after I read in detail every word of the season ticket agreement for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I got my power rankings done and posted them so I could focus exclusively on preparation for this momentous occasion.
So no harm, no foul with the fan. It was, the Bucs. it's different than baseball. Like baseball, if you catch the ball, you've caught the ball, and it's like a big accomplishment because you're competing with everyone. This to me was like a very simple open and shut case of Mike Evans was stupid to give the ball away, and then once they realized the mistake, the fan gets something out of it. He got the Bitcoin, he got a lot of stuff. Like, give it back. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel like the same as baseball. Like, I know everyone's like, he should have left the stadium, he should have fucking sold it. Mike Evans screwed up. Like, Mike Evans was the one who shouldn't have done that, and maybe you can blame Tom Brady for not telling him that it was the 600th touchdown pass, but I feel like it was like kind of an open shut, hey, everyone wins.
But no, because the guy was given basically $500,000 if you listen to the experts who value these things.
I get it, but it was a mistake. Like, Mike Evans, if he had known this was his 600th ball, he never would have given it to him. It's not like a baseball where it's like hit and then you compete with people for the ball and you get it and then it's like, oh, we can hold it over their head and all that stuff. Like, Mike Evans fucked up.
What if it's the record-setting home run ball? And I don't know what the single-season record is anymore. I don't know what the all-time record is anymore. But what if it's some sort of a record home run ball?
That's
and the guy
different.
wants it back and they come find you and say, we want that ball back. It has a lot of meaning to the hitter.
Yep. That's different to me. I would hold out on that because getting a home run ball is harder. You earned it in a weird way because like everyone's competing for a home run ball. You bought the ticket. You knew it could be hit. Like when Barry Bonds was going for the record, everyone was buying tickets hoping they would get it. This is simply Mike Evans like handing a ball by accident to a guy. And the guy, he got a pretty good package out of it. I know that people are going to say he could have gotten way more. Maybe Bitcoin keeps going up and he gets that $1 million.
Well, and I have a feeling Tom Brady didn't buy that Bitcoin. I think Tom Brady's crypto sponsor is paying for the Bitcoin, so he's really not on anything. The guy wanted to golf with Tom Brady. Shouldn't the guy?
He will
get around to golf with Tom Brady.
He will. I bet you he will.
In baseball, if this were the case, if it was applicable, then Zach Campbell would be put to death. He would be like public enemy number one. I feel like in football it is a little bit different because you don't buy a ticket for a football game with the expectation that hey, there's going to be 20, 30 balls that are given away over the course of a game unless they're playing the Jets.
But we see time and again and I don't know why Mike Evans picked a grown man. We usually see a kid.
He always does.
Football.
He's an equal opportunity ball giver away. He gives it to grown men and kids.
But if you watch highlights on Football Night in America or elsewhere, you see time and again, if you're sitting down there in the vicinity of the end zone, you have a chance of getting a touchdown ball. They bring it over and they give it to you. So it's no different than the chance of getting a foul ball at a baseball game. So I don't buy that argument. Look,
I think it is different because you're given something versus like actually catching it. Like you're giving it to he's like, here, take this. You didn't do anything to earn it. You just sat there.
You stood out. You did something to get the guy's attention. He yelled, Big Mike. And Big Mike brought him the football.
Big Mike.
So, I kind of do agree with Florio in the fact that, it would be kind of a shithead move to not give the ball back when you're asked and with the understanding that they'll make it right from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers perspective, and they'll give you a lot of stuff. It'll be great. It's not really your ball. It's just dumb luck that you got it in the first place. I agree it would kind of be a shithead move to do that, but at the same time, $500,000 is $500,000. I would have no problem being labeled a shithead if it is legally my right to hang on to that ball. And I know that Billy actually did some case law research to look up the legal precedent. I'm sure this will be a meeting of the finest legal minds in America. Billy, what did you find out when you dug through as a paralegal?
I just have a question. Because the ball is technically Tampa Bay Buccaneers team property because they bring their offensive balls to the game, they're not the NFL balls that they use for kicking. Wouldn't they be able to argue that even if the fan wanted to keep it, take the $500,000 and run out of the stadium, that Mike Evans wasn't an agent of the team to give their property up, and since all balls are labeled and under their insurance, that they could just claim ownership of that ball?
He is an agent of the team, though.
Wow. Well, now there's two types of authority. There's actual authority and apparent authority. And he has the apparent authority to scoop up a football on a touchdown he scored and hand it to a fan forever. Done. Over. No give-backs, no take-backs. Once that transfer is committed, from the fan's perspective, that fan's got the right to assume that Mike Evans has the authority to surrender that football based upon the common practice of NFL players to hand over footballs after they score touchdowns. Boom, roasted.
Oh, okay.
It's not a boom roasted when you get Billy.
It's
like you
Did
didn't
you roast me?
I just felt like saying
Yeah,
it.
this is your
But
degree.
Bill, I like it. Billy
wa-
may want to reconsider his life choices and go to law school. He articulated a very fine argument there.
No,
Well, he's had 2 days to think about
No,
that sentence.
I'm just wondering that if they had a group of lawyers, could they have gotten the ball back from this guy?
Wouldn't they look like complete assholes if they
But-
even tried?
Yeah,
That's,
but
just
that's
take-
a Dan Snyder move. That's
It
an
is.
only Dan Snyder would do
It
that.
is.
But just technically, like if they wanted to.
It'd be tough. It'd be tough because he handed him the ball. And that's what happens at football games. People get handed footballs. So, if the guy wanted to dig in for the $500,000 or whatever that ball was going to be worth, and if he wanted to fight over it, and Brady said it himself last night on the Manning cast, the guy lost all of his leverage when he gave the ball back. I mean, he should have gotten that ball. He should have declared to everyone sitting around him, I got to take a dump, and disappeared and never come back. You got to get out of there with the ball, take it home, and then figure out what to do.
I don't know. I feel like everyone kind of won in this way. I know everyone's going to be like $500,000, but again, it feels like Mike Evans is the one who should pay anyway. He's the one who fucked up. That's really what it comes down to. He should have had the presence of mind to know not to give that ball away.
I agree with you. And if the guy had taken off with the ball, then Tom Brady could go to Mike Evans and say, you have to buy the ball back from the guy, or you have to wait until he auctions it whenever he auctions it, and you have to go buy it and give it back to him. Yeah, that would have been fair.
Real quick, Mike, before we let you go, and you can buy Playmakers if you're a book person. I don't know why you're listening to this podcast if you're also a reader. That's kind of weird. But
Thanks very much for that.
Yep.
Thanks for helping.
Comes out March 15th. Very excited to read it or sell it.
Sure.
I had a question about the Washington football team and the emails because I know you've been hot on the case of this congressional investigation into Dan Snyder and into those emails. Just give me a temperature reading, like scale of 1 to 100. How likely is this going to result in Dan Snyder being forced to forfeit the team?
Too early to tell, but the fact that it's on the congressional radar screen and they intend to push forward and they want a response from the NFL by November 4, and they have the right to issue subpoenas if they want to, I'd say once somebody with the power to get to the bottom of it gets involved, it gets north of 50. It was under 50. Ooh. It was well under 50 until somebody decided to peel off some of these secret emails and take out John Gruden. That's when it all changed. And then once it got the attention of Congress, and, the union could still try to file a lawsuit and get these emails. But once, and I believe, frankly, July 1, when the NFL announced its punishment of Dan Snyder, the reason no details were provided is because if we knew the details of the findings of the investigation, it would be as untenable for Snyder to continue as the owner as it was for Gruden to continue as the coach of the Raiders. Once we know about it, it's over. Mm-hmm. So if they get to a point where we know about some of the things that Beth Wilkinson, the investigator, found, I think it becomes untenable at that point publicly for Snyder to continue. So if we get this information, my gut tells me Snyder's going to have to sell.
Okay, so I just need one powerful person in Congress to latch onto this like a dog onto like one of those guys running around in the fat suits, right?
You got two. Two people signed the letter to the commissioner, and November 4 is the deadline. And it kind of died down because, football is the ultimate source of bright, shiny objects to distract us from the problems because they always got games coming up. We had a whole weekend of games, and even though they weren't great games, everyone's forgotten about it. Well, Congress hasn't, and they're on the case, and it'll be interesting to see how hard they push and if the NFL cooperates. Last week when they addressed it, all they said was, we look forward to talking to Representative Carolyn Maloney's office. They didn't say, we'll cooperate with whatever Congress wants.
All right, last question. Percentage chance Deshaun Watson is traded in the next, 7 days, 10 days?
95.
Whoa!
Although 95 is, 95 is the kiss of death. I should say 94.9 because I've learned anytime anybody says there's a 95% chance of something happening, it never happens. So 94.9% chance. Miami, 75. Carolina, 25.
Wow.
Let me go Carolina 24, 1%, some crazy wild card team. But Miami's the favorite, and it's up to Deshaun. He's got the no trade clause. He will choose his next destination. Miami first, then Carolina. The chances of him being with the Texans next Tuesday after the trade deadline, very, 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 very small.
So does Roger Goodell go God mode and put him on the exempt list and say, guess what, you're not playing after he gets traded?
He makes no decisions until he has to. and they haven't made a decision because he's not playing now. Once he's traded, they'll look at the circumstances that will exist when a trade happens. And, the circumstances can change. They almost settled the 22 cases against Deshaun Watson 4 or 5 months ago. And they had the talks bogged down on the question of whether or not the settlement would be confidential. That means they already had a number in mind. You don't start haggling over whether or not it's going to be a secret settlement if you don't know what the settlement's going to be. Mm-hmm. That could be done at any time. And if those cases are settled when he's traded, the commissioner could look at it differently and decide to let him play. Either way, they're going to get criticized, but they're not going to make a decision until they have to.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for coming on. Yeah. Playmakers comes out sometime in March. There's a 95% chance I'll read it. So thank you for sending that our way, Mike.
Yeah, I thought about it. That's a big step. That's big
good.
Step.
That's good. I assume that your kid will get his hands on it and rip all the pages out.
Yep.
And draw on it. Go ahead. Let him draw on it. Let him have some fun. If you're never going to read it, at least use that paper for something.
Okay, I will. Maybe roll a joint because I know you like to smoke weed. That's actually the great selling point of Mike's book, Playmakers, out March 15th. Each page is actually rolling paper, so you can smoke. You can smoke with it, and actually halfway through, you know how they have the pictures. It changes to blunt paper. So buy Mike Florio's book and smoke a bunch of joints with it.
Well done.
Okay,
that's the best endorsement we're going to get.
All right, thanks, Mike.
See you, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya. Okay, let's wrap up. Thanks to Mike Florio and Dick Vermeil. Let's wrap up with some guys on chicks. Hank, Henry,
Daniel,
Henry.
Hi, Dad Cat, Pup Punk Legend, and the crew. I just got my nipples pierced, and I was wondering if you all could explain how this will change my body / sex life / future motherhood.
Well, you got hotter.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Yeah, you got more intimidating.
And hotter.
Probably better at sex.
Yeah.
And hotter. I don't know. And you might chip some teeth with it.
Yeah.
I've always wondered about that.
I don't really understand the whole the body piercing thing. It makes me really sound like an old fart, but I don't. I nose piercings I don't think are very attractive. Ears okay, but anything else, lip.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very
nipples.
judgmental.
I didn't know you were a nosist.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a nose ring that you're like, that's good?
Yeah.
Really?
I like nose rings. I don't like the ones that go through the middle. I like the ones on the outside.
Yeah,
they're like little baby ones.
Yeah, those are cute.
Okay.
Love them. Also, when you breastfeed, it's going to be like one of those super soakers that shoots in different directions. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be
exciting
to take care of.
Hi, Big Cat PFT and Hank. Hypothetically speaking, if someone was going to slide into Billy Football's DMs, what would you say? Ribbit.
No, I would say, hey, sup, Billy. Got this crazy story about an offensive lineman in high school in Texas who ate a pancake before he pancaked someone.
Yeah.
Also, what's your number?
I think, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just from if you've listened to the show, it should not be a mystery.
Yeah. He's looking hot today in his boots. He's got his fuck boots on.
Leave me alone.
Just be like,
those are absurd. Water, like.
Okay, so no.
Billy's wearing straight up cowboy boots, and I was like, "Billy, are you going to the honky tonk later?" And he was like, "Well, there's water outside."
No, so
I feel like those being your waterproof boots is a little bit wild.
No, because what I do is
they are nice boots.
There's like a foot of water outside of my door, so what I do is I take 2 garbage bags and I put them around the boot and inside the boot, so they're waterproof.
Wait, but why wouldn't you just get waterproof boots?
And you have those Timbs, don't you?
I was going to ask for them for Christmas because I need a new pair.
Okay, ask right now.
Was
you got an alternate under you like this week?
Would you like some waterproof boots?
Yeah. How about if Billy gives us a winner this weekend?
Yeah,
an alternate under winner.
Okay, so I mean, in the pick thing, I am exactly 50. And I'm thinking if I'm that good at picking 50, I might as well start trying to go for the top.
Oh,
so I might just start giving only winners.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
Like I've gotten exactly 50.
That's dangerous.
Wow.
I might actually only start be giving winners.
Okay.
So
all right, well, we'll get you some new boots for Christmas.
If you're looking,
actually would love some of those waders, those Georgia boots.
Okay.
Waders
for Christmas. Send them to me.
Yeah.
If you're a good boy.
Well, first, you're not going to make them earn them.
You have to give Big Cat an alternate under, and then if that hits, then
or an alternate over.
Okay. I'll find. I will.
It's got to be 10 points.
10-point differential. I'll bet it, and if I hit it, I will get you some boots.
Waiters, please.
Waiter, whatever you want.
What about
If
Crocs?
my baby wants
No,
my
the
baby gets.
the Crocs.
No more Crocs?
No, because this water's pretty dirty. Like there's
Yeah.
sewage in
New
it.
Jersey
The
water.
toe shoes?
Suey water.
Yeah, I need waiters.
Sup, boys? How come when a man gets lightly tapped in his balls, it hurts so bad? But when you're doing doggy style, the balls are clanking and that doesn't hurt. I need answers.
Because we're liars. It's a big lie that men have told each other that we've kept you on the outside of. Our balls never hurt when you hit them. It's just something funny. That's why we always laugh when we see a guy get hit in the nuts.
That's why this podcast almost broke up.
Yeah.
Nut taps.
Yeah. It hurts a lot.
It's like a fun thing where it's like, all these women actually believe that we're in pain.
I don't know the answer to this. This makes no sense. This person's right.
I think it's like a concussion.
Oh.
Because, like, when you get hit in the head, you don't get concussed all the time. But sometimes when you get hit in a certain way, your brain tears that from the lining of your skull, and that's concussion.
Got it.
I think it's like when you get shot. But sometimes
concussion is.
people get, or no, it's like, or I don't know, like when you get shot, but you don't feel it for a second because of shock. Like your head is so like
there's blood going other places.
Yeah, you're feeling the fuck.
Yeah,
and you're not
that's
thinking
right.
about the pain.
That's probably right. Whereas when you get nut tapped, you're just all you can do is think about the pain.
Yeah,
I think as guys are fucking, we're incapable of thinking about anything else at all. So you could walk up and stab us in our back while we're having sex and be like, "This is awesome. I'm getting laid."
What were you gonna say?
I have I mean, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not a doctor, so this is probably dead wrong. But like maybe like semen comes from the balls, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like
also
in the
pee.
ball.
Also pee.
But like maybe when you get tapped in the balls out of nowhere, all the semen's down there. But when you're fucking, it's like not
still down
It's like
there.
working its way up.
So it's the
not
semen that gets
It's
hurt.
not the balls aren't clanging as
The
much.
semen is the thing.
I don't
that
know.
Gets hurt.
That I literally just made that up
No,
out of
I
the
think
clouds.
you're right. I think you're right.
You're thinking that the semen have nerves,
Yeah,
in their
if
little tails.
If you nut tap someone who hasn't jerked off in a long time, it hurts even more.
Right. Is that right?
No.
Right. No, that's right. All right. What's up? I'm sure someone.
Right.
What's up, Dad Cat, Short King, PFT, Honk, and the rest of you? My husband has been sober for 3 years and would much rather play video games than go out to a bar or party with me. Our friends usually ask after him, and I make up excuses for him, and they totally get it. Mostly because they know he loves gaming more than me. I'm typically fine doing my own thing most of the time, but we got invited to a Halloween party, and I really don't want to make an excuse for him, but he also really doesn't want to go, even though he loves wearing his banana costume most years. Am I an asshole for pushing him to come with me? Any ideas on how I can convince him? Offering sexual favors doesn't really do the trick. Anyway, thanks for help. Love you guys.
This one's a layup, in my opinion.
All right, go off.
Whatever game he plays, just buy him the costume of his favorite character.
Oh.
And just be like, I got you a Master Chief costume. Like, let's go to this party.
I like that, Billy.
If he's like
Damn.
that into gaming.
That's really good, Billy. You could also just buy him in like whatever game he wants, or I don't know, headset, chair, gaming chair.
Just give him some,
Also, tell him to
Mountain
just-
Dew.
Tell him to just suck it up. Everyone has to do shit they
It's a
don't like.
relationship life, yeah.
The only even that bad.
Only difference is he's sober, and so maybe going to a party, maybe that might.
Sounds like he doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's
The problem,
probably
the problem with not drinking is everywhere you go, everybody drinks all the time.
just tell him to go to the beginning. Like, be like, we'll go for the first 2 hours before everyone gets drunk.
What's up, fellas? My boyfriend has a cat. Is this a red flag?
Yes. And, yeah.
It depends on how he procured the cat. If he caught it by himself in the wild, it plays.
Or rescued.
Or rescued.
Or if he lost a bet and had to get it.
Yep.
I think that's a good thing, too.
Yep. Any other reason? Red flag.
If you just, decided if you woke up one morning and he was like, you know what? I'm sick of being catless in my life.
Well,
That's a red flag.
Here's the spin zone. If you date your, did you say boyfriend already?
Yeah.
Okay. You can cheat on him and he'll take you back. Like as a cat guy. That's absolutely. He'll be like, you know what, it's my fault. I didn't pay enough attention to you. Mm-hmm. Sorry you cheated.
PFT in the football team. All right, last one.
Excuse me?
I took my boyfriend.
Beg your pardon, mate?
That's a callback. That's a callback.
Yeah, it's a callback.
Yeah, I know I'm in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Okay? I get it. I know I am.
So I took my boyfriend to a restaurant with arcade games. We wanted to do a little challenge. He thought he would beat me 10-0. Short story, I beat him 8-2, and he acts like he was trying not to win, and he could beat me if he really wanted to. What do I do? What do I need to do so he stops crying?
Billy?
I totally blacked out that whole question.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah.
I think it was just you. I
It
think
was about you.
Yeah, I think Jake wrote in
I mean,
to try to get a tip on how to make
I
you
get
feel
you to
better.
stop crying.
I can't stop crying.
You're like
true.
Dick
Do you
Vermeil.
actually know what
Dick
the question's about?
It's about Dave and Buster's.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That was some prime context clues you used there to figure that one out.
It also shows that Dave and Buster's experience is still very close to the top of his mind.
Yes.
Blacked it out.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Everyone's okay.
Okay.
Tell
It's
us-
not okay to be okay.
Tell us what you were laughing
No,
about
no.
the entire first segment.
Yes, please.
It's the other way around.
It's not okay to be okay.
That's not it. That is not the same.
I actually think that depressed people should start saying that. It's not okay to be okay. Like, fuck you for being okay.
That's
Fight
actually,
back.
It's the exact same thing as saying it's okay to not be okay. Yeah.
Start fighting back. Tell us what you're
Negative
cheesing about.
vibes only.
I'm actually.
You were goofing.
I
You were
saw-
cheesing.
Tell us.
One thing on my phone was hilarious.
What was
Tell
it?
us.
It was a text from a friend.
You laughed for
Say it.
for honestly 10 minutes.
Come on.
Okay.
No
okay.
context. Just give us the
Just
text.
give us the text. Read the text word for word.
No, I can't.
Read it.
No, I can't.
It's an order.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's
Just
not.
gave you an order.
It's not an order.
Yes, I can give you orders. I'm your boss.
Says who?
Says me. I'm your boss.
Hank's my boss, technically.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's
not
on
true.
paper. Hank's my boss.
Okay,
That's not
Hank,
true.
would you like to give him an order?
Yes, I demand you.
Well, Hank's not actually.
Oh,
my
he
boss.
gives you
Yeah,
a demand.
no,
so now you're a liar.
It's It's not an order. Guys, can we just move on?
No, you disrupted the
Show's
show
over.
earlier.
Okay.
And we're not leaving until you read the text.
Okay, whales
No,
can explode.
no,
You guys are not budging on this.
no. You're okay. You're not fired, but you're suspended for a week.
When you were coming back full time, I specifically requested to not be your boss because I would kill you otherwise.
You're off the show for a week. Make your choice.
Take that deal.
1, 2.
Come on, guys.
Just get the sentence, something.
His friend wants a job at Barstool.
What? That's not bad.
Why did you giggle?
Because he thinks his friend's an idiot.
Because his friend wants to sleep with. I'm trying to get myself. Jake.
Was he like, my fucking idiot friend wants a job, don't give it to him?
No, I said he has to be like clinically an idiot.
You
work
You
here?
said the R word.
No, I didn't.
You just said. What else does clinically
No.
an idiot mean?
He's got to be mentally idiot. He's got to mentally be an idiot.
It's pretty. You did a terrible job of
No,
disguising
never
that
mind.
one.
He's got to have idiot syndrome.
He's got to be
We should just
clinically
cut
idiot.
all of
Yeah,
this.
sorry that my friend is medically dumb.
All right, numbers.
Don't tell anyone I said that. 8.
93.
97.
6.
69 whales sometimes randomly explode if they're dead.
15.
New number.
Whoa!
All right. There you
How
go,
many we got
15.
left?
14.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
Love you guys.
I'll be your dream, I'll be your wish, I'll be your fantasy.